go out the window, right? So, okay, my question, right? So if ghosts are not bound by the laws of physics, what's keeping them on the planet? Wouldn't they just float off the planet? And that, for that matter, if ghosts are exempt from the laws of physics in our universe, wouldn't they literally just float out of the multiverse? Wouldn't they literally just fall off the frame boundary? Also, another thing, right? If ghosts weren't affected by gravity, that would be some serious shit, and I'll tell you why. And I mean some serious shit for the whole fucking multiverse, and I'll tell you why. You ready for this, Ron? Okay, you ready? Okay. Let's say, and I've talked about this, gravity and rest velocity are basically, they're similar. They're relatable in that gravity moves at the speed of light and seems to be directly related to rest velocity. The film, think of like I said it before, the universe is an animation frame, it's a set of frames, okay? Alright. So the only way that you could be unaffected by gravity, Ron, is if your mass had zero velocity, as in it had negative rest, okay? Now let's talk about what happens if you were to have zero velocity relative to any other mass or energy in the universe, right, at any given point, alright? What would happen is you would slide off the film frame. There would be nothing holding you on the film frame. You would literally slide off the film frame and you would be stuck in between the gap that holds the universes together. You'd be stuck in that fabric somewhere, okay? And by the way, this would be astronomically horrible for everyone in the multiverse, because you know what would happen? You know what would happen then, Ron? Okay? You ready? Well, okay, so you're selecting a negative value that doesn't even exist, okay? You're going at negative rest, right? Which according to the universe, if you're looking at it from a software perspective, which is actually relatable, because in Einstein's work he says that what he figured out was basically comparable to a glitch, okay? Idea, right? Big idea, right? If you find an exploit in a program that allows you to select something, but you don't know what you're selecting, you're probably going to select an undefined value. You know what happens when you select an undefined value, Ron? The program crashes. The program fucking crashes. So, I'll be very worried if there was an entity out there not affected by the laws of physics, because the whole universe would literally crash, okay? So I don't know where you're going with this, Ron.
You're really smart.
Yeah, Marshall, though, you always look at it from, like, a fucking software perspective. I mean, the universe, I didn't even think it works like that. You tried to say that God is, like, I don't know,
the
like...
The universe does work that way. Have you looked into Moore's proposals? Moore's is the guy that invented binary, and believe it or not, he also invented encoding, because Moore's code is the first form of encoding, okay, which is binary encoding, okay? Using encoding, you can define anything in the universe. By the way, that includes a brain. That includes the solar system. That includes all things in the universe, right? So, yes, the universe is comparable to software in that it has an input signal, A, and B, it seems to be under the scrutiny of computation. And I don't really know why you think that everything's so mystical, Ron. I mean, you know, there's nothing mystical about it. There's nothing mystical about this shit, Ron, okay?
Okay,
Look,
I mean, we're a lot like software in the way that things are, like, calculable and whatnot, but
no.
There's things that, like, we can't even comprehend, like...
There's more to it than that, Ron. Listen, hear me out. So the reason that Einstein compared relativity theory to a glitch, and really glitch, there's only one way to think of that. That's a bug in some engineering. That's what a glitch is. It's a bug in something that was engineered, okay? It's the only way to even think of that. And Einstein has wrote about this several times. So is Newton. As I was saying about absolute rest was an idea back in Newtonian era, which the idea was that if you reach absolute rest, it would break something. It would literally break something. I mean, nobody knew what it would break. You know, there was an idea. We didn't even know what the multiverse was back then, but if you were to ask me if you were actually able, which, by the way, I guess there's no way to reach absolute rest, at least that I know of. But what I can say is, with the multiverse, you would literally slide off the film frame. Anyway, also, how do you know that these ghosts are not affected by the laws of physics if you haven't set up a proper experiment or even tried, right? Like, you know, it's funny. It's like, oh, they're ghosts, therefore, you know, science goes out the window. Because it's a ghost, it's supernatural, it cannot be measured. I mean, you're assuming it can't be measured. You don't actually know that because you didn't bother to test it. You can't just say some shit, Ron. You actually have to test it. And I rest my case.
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking say that ghosts can't be measured, though, or whatever the fuck you're saying. We don't, okay. So I've seen like depictions of like I don't know, I guess ghosts with fucking tails, but I've also seen
magical rhetoric that has nothing to do with testing anything.
Okay, because you think we could just fucking test something? Okay, anyway, if we're talking about this, we're not just going to talk about the things that we can't do.
I think we can just test something. We do it all the time.
Okay, you and I, not we. Okay, maybe we as a species. Okay, if you're going to keep fucking interrupting me, I'm just not even going to like.
But wait. How can we?
It's okay. I'll listen to you, Ron.
Are ghosts even physical? Are ghosts even physical? What's the argument behind that?
They would have to be. They would have to be physical, Dylan. And I already said it. I mean, there's obvious proof that if they're real, they would have to be, right? Because think about this, right? If something is not affected by gravity, it simply floats off the planet. So tell me, how is that ghost bound to your house if it's not affected by gravity? Wouldn't it just float off the fucking... What's holding it down?
I don't even think it has to be bound to, like, a house. It generally just, I don't know, I guess might stick where it
No, it would have to be affected by gravity. It would absolutely have to be. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't affected...
I didn't even deny you, you fucking idiot. You keep like, no, this has to be the way it is, even though I didn't disagree with your theory.
Ron, I don't know, man. I think you believe in some mystical things and you're very deluded.
Oh my
I told Dylan the same thing because he was a Christian until recently, but what I'm saying is, Ron, like if something seems fantastic, I'm not even saying that ghosts aren't real. I think they're probably not real. I think it's probably bullshit, but you know, I try to keep both ideas.
And that's from a perspective of a scientist.
Well, no, that's from a perspective of a responsible person. Now, hold on. What I mean by responsible is that it's very irresponsible to basically just like you saying that animals act weird, strange around, blah blah blah, or you saying that blah blah blah, or without testing it, is very unresponsible. You have to actually, you can't just say these things. You have to like aren't you even a little bit curious how any of this works? Like you just wanted to basically what I'm saying is everyone who's interested in paranormal investigation, they're not actually experimenting properly. I'll even go into detail here if you'd like. Look, there's people doing that EVP bullshit, okay? Where they turn on the radio and they turn to the static channel, which, by the way, that's the hydrogen channel, if you were wondering. And the theory is that you'll hear entities talking to you through this channel. You've probably seen this experiment, okay? Well, it's a stupid experiment, and I will continue. I will actually go in depth as to how fucking stupid this is and unthought this was, okay? That was just a way to get stupid people to buy shit, okay? That was just a way to get stupid people to buy stupid shit like old radio sets, okay? That's what that was. Now, listen. Hear me out. Okay. The hydrogen channel is the most common channel in the universe. I mean, why do you think on the TV, right, there's one channel that's reserved, and if you switch to that channel, you see a bunch of snow and hear a lot of loud noise. Same thing on the radio. Well, that's because the reason that channel is reserved is because it's resonating the hydrogen frequency. You're literally picking up the hydrogen frequency, which is the most abundant element in the universe, right? So there's a lot of noise on that channel. That's why we don't use that channel, because a lot of noise bleeds through, okay? Now, you're already thinking, well, wait a minute, he makes a valid point. Like, why the fuck would there be ghosts on there? Why would a ghost try to broadcast on that channel? Wouldn't it be too loud? Yes, it would be too loud.
God. Do you think that I even believe the idea of like a ghost thing on a radio anyway?
What I'm saying is, Ron, is that I'm not even saying that you can't even get any results from paranormal investigation, but the way people are doing it are going to get no results, is what I'm saying. It's going to get no results. I mean, past like a fun story at the campfire that low-key nobody believes, because I don't even believe it.
Wait, I have a question for Ron. Ron, do you think that creepy...
I started this conversation and haven't said
Oh my god, let's not even get started on this.
Let's not get started on it. I mean, Dylan, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people just make things up. They just make things up, and then they think it's real in their head, because, the best thing is, like, ghosts is, like, something a lot of other people believe in. Like, if Jerron was talking about invisible ranking unicorns, that would take an awful lot of shoring up, because nobody else believes that. But, since he's talking about ghosts, we have like-minded idiots like Chloe who agree with it. So, think about that. Think about that, Dylan. Group mentality.
I never agreed or disagreed.
Really what it is, it's a bunch of delusional people that...
Did you?
It's a bunch of delusional people, I'm telling you, dude. Like, I've heard people tell me in real life and swear up and down that this place is, like, haunted,
now,
and I go there with them and there's nothing. If there's nothing there, it's bullshit.
So, first of all, you said I wasn't a Christian anymore. I didn't say that. I said some of the things you said make sense, but I still disagree with you on that. And second of all, the Egyptian Book of the Dead literally does not conflict with the Bible at all, dude. Like, you were literally
I didn't say
trying
it
to...
conflicted. Wait. I didn't say it conflicted with the Bible. I said that it was the first religion where there was one God, okay? And then all the other religions with one God basically copied off of that book, and they did. And they fucking did, Dylan. They literally jumped on the bandwagon and copied off of that. It's plagiarism, Dylan, okay? All of these books are copies off of each other, Dylan, okay?
Yeah.
Like, to deny
Can I
that...
say what I believe in?
I wasn't saying that it's necessarily conflicting with the Bible. I'm saying that the Bible got the idea to have one God from that book. Same thing with Islam. Same thing with Judaism. Where the idea of monotheism came from, it came from the Egyptians. And it's funny.
You could say, listen, you could say that just because one religion started polytheism, that everything after that starts with polytheism as well is crap because...
Well, Dylan, if you want to believe in magical bullshit, I'm not going to argue with you because you're just going to keep believing in magical bullshit and never see the light. So I'm just not going to waste my breath.
Well,
okay, Dylan, it's not even about the magical bullshit aspect of it.
Yeah, well,
it
is. It's magical bullshit. It's fucking magical bullshit.
Okay, but it's also... Okay, hold on. Shut the fuck up for a second, okay? It's about the philosophy, like, what the messages are trying to convey to just, I mean, I guess, cause better scenarios. I mean, if you hear, like, a saying or something wise and it resonates with you, of course. I mean, if the word stuck with you, it could alter your decisions in a moment or make you do something nice for someone else. And I mean, it's about, I guess, more of the philosophical thing, and whether or not people choose to believe in God. I mean, that's not like magical horseshit. I mean,
it is. The idea of God is it's not completely magical horseshit, as in, like, by some abstract measure, it might be true. But what I am saying is that by the high bar that people set, it can't be true. It absolutely cannot be true. It cannot be so. And what I mean is, you have this omnipotent being who is all powerful, who can do anything, right? Okay, so my question is, right, so why is the universe exploitable then? Like, why does the universe seem to have flaws? You know, if God created us, then he must be very afraid of us hacking his program. He must be very, very afraid.
No, I mean, I wouldn't assume so.
Very, very afraid. I already told you what happens when mass gets close to light speed and how it's like a glitch in a game.
Yeah,
you agreed with me that it basically sounded like a game glitch. Everybody generally agreed with me, right?
Because you said that
hold on. So, okay, now think about this, right? Okay, so if the universe is exploitable, that means that the engineer that built the universe, aka God, that is a reflection of his ineptitude. An exploit in a program is a reflection of the programmer's ineptitude to be able to write secure code. Okay? So basically, the fact that there are these, if you will, glitches, that means that there was some ineptitude there, that the engineer did a few things wrong, he made a few coding errors. He's not omnipotent. He's not. It's bullshit. It's a lie.
Okay, so let's say that, like, I mean, well, nobody's ever hit that glitch, for one. For two, like, even if somebody...
Yes, they have. Actually, yes, they have. That's very weak argument there. Okay, ion drive. You know what it is? What do you mean we've never hit that glitch? Okay, ion drive, right? Now, ion drive will slowly approach the speed of light. Basically, the way that it works, you have a very lightweight aluminum frame. You put on the bottom of it, basically the equivalent of electronic heaters. They just radiate a small amount of heat constantly, okay, with a small power source of some sort, okay, right? Now, because the frame of the vehicle is very, very lightweight, it only takes a little bit of heat to lift it off the ground, okay? Now, because ion drive accelerates very, very slowly, it can safely approach the speed of light without killing the passengers. It just takes a long time. Now, also, you don't need to go at light speed to prove Einstein was correct. All you have to do is accelerate in any direction and to measure your mass at a finite level. And what I mean by that is that Lorentz stated that as mass accelerates, it gets bigger, it gets infinitesimally bigger in all directions except the direction it is traveling towards. It gets a little bit smaller in that direction, okay? Right? Einstein comes along, he's like, the limit to that directional standard is the speed of light. The reason being is because, okay, think about this, right? Photons are outrunning mass in all directions of the universe. Photons are outrunning us, okay? Now, the universe, because it's a set of frames, is going to try to keep us on the frame we are and it's not going to want us to prematurely reach the end of the frame, okay? The end of the frame is where the photon signal ends, okay? The reason we're not allowed to surpass the speed of light, and the reason this glitch happens, is because when you get close to the speed of light, the next frame cannot spawn until everything in the current frame is finished, okay? And so to keep the mass from prematurely reaching the end of the frame, it will literally change the shape of it, okay? And that is a glitch, okay? I don't know what you think that is, but that's literally a glitch. Now, hold on. So, what I'm saying is that, basically, if God is such a perfect entity, then why are there glitches? I mean, a glitch is something that's reminiscent of a programmer who fucked up. That's what that is. You know, if you're a programmer, you have a glitch in your code, people, they basically say you fucked up. You got to fix that, okay? But if you're God and there's a flaw in your universe, people are like, well, the devil put that there to test me, and like that's you know, I think my argument has a bigger dick. I'm just saying.
Ah, my lord. Okay, so one thing. They say that God's like interpretive, like you're not even supposed to be able to like comprehend like his being or whatever. So he's put it in numerous different ways or fucking whatever. So I mean, once again, God being that God's interpretive, you know, you kind of interpret him as like a programmer or whatever. But I don't know. I don't find it to be like that. I mean, the whole ion thruster thing's pretty cool. I never heard about that or whatever. I don't know. I pretty much, I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, I guess if we almost pretty much hit the speed of light, then why haven't we done something about it?
Okay, Ron, and Ron. Okay, Ron, you're asking overly simplified questions again.
Well, I can answer in simpler terms. Why? Because of if we approach the speed of light, right? Right? So if we try to go faster than that, okay, the faster than the literal speed of light, what we can see, then well, literally, it's a glitch. It keeps us from doing it because it's like we would be seeing what's in the future or something if we went faster than that.
Well, no. Here's what's really going on. Look up a race condition real quick. Look up race condition. Okay, do that for me, everybody, please. By the way, let's keep this argument a little bit civil. No more yelling, Ron, please. I'm trying to keep a low tone here. Please no yelling. You hurt my ears.
I got no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, of course. You're an airhead, but that's okay. Anyway.
You said race condition?
Yeah, look up race condition.
Okay.
And I want you to think about that because what Einstein is talking about is very similar to a race condition. So think about that. Just look it up real quick.
Okay, it becomes a bug when events do not happen in the order that the programmer intended. So other system where the output is dependent on the sequence or timing of other uncontrollable events. It's the behavior of the electrons. Okay. Alright, so what's this basically talking about?
Okay, Dylan. Okay, race conditions are bugs where ordering of events and timing of events are critical. Okay, and what I mean by that, okay, let's say you're on Discord, right? And there's two users in a chat room. They attempt to change their nickname to the same exact nickname at the same exact time, just by coincidence, okay? Right? Well, I'm sure that Discord error handles that. I'm sure that Discord will probably assign both of them some unique name in order to avoid bugging out, okay? Well, let's assume Discord didn't handle that, okay, Dylan? What's going to happen is those nicknames are going to collide, okay? And one of those nicknames is going to be arbitrarily assigned as master connection. And what I mean by that is there's going to be one user in the chat room who can talk and communicate, and anything he does, the other user that collided with him is going to be taken along for the ride, basically, okay? That's the most simple example I can think of. Now, the reason that Einstein's proposal is very similar to this idea, or rather I should say nearly fucking identical, because think about it. Look at the description of the basic idea of a race condition. Two signals racing to reach a result. Think about that, right? Okay, now, when the Big Bang happened, right, the universe is rolling at the speed of light. The first particles to exist were photons. So photons exist at the end of the frame border. Do you see what I'm saying? They constantly exist at the end of the frame border. Now, It's not that mass isn't moving at the speed of light. We're vibrating at the speed of light. We're vibrating in all directions at the speed of light. Because the film roll is because we're on the film roll and the film roll is vibrating at that speed. Do you follow?
Yes.
Follow, Dylan. Okay? Now you're really gonna have to think about this because this is like computer science meets crazy math. So you're really gonna have to think about this, okay? Now, okay. Next idea, right? So you remember how I said that photons came first? That's why photons are the fastest things in the universe, because they came first. They're at the end of the frame border, Dylan. They're the end of the frame border. Think about it. Okay?
Exactly. It's light.
Okay,
it's
so
light.
what I'm saying is, Dylan, right? Is that okay, so mass goes at the speed of light in all directions constantly, but when you go in a single direction, you're going to be going slower than that, most likely. Now, if mass not surpasses the speed of light, but if mass gets close to the speed of light, anywhere close to it, okay? What's going to happen is that in order to keep photons as the frame border, because the frame border has to stay the same. The frame border can't change or it'll break something, okay? It'll break, I don't even know. But anyway, the frame border is the end of that frame, which is where the photons end, okay? So to keep you from hitting the frame border prematurely, your reference frame changes. There you go. Race condition. Because basically the ordering of events is limited to the next frame. Think about what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, but like, let's think about it logically. Even though, like, how could you go faster than what can be reflected in light?
Well, the reason you can't go faster than light is because that's the frame border. Now
exactly.
Now there is a glitch there. There is a glitch there, though. There actually is a glitch where you can go faster than, well, not really faster, but you can travel.
You know what they say would happen if you went faster than light, and this makes a lot of sense, is that you would actually curve space-time. You would actually bend time, because you would literally go past the barrier of the universe, and you would literally curve space-time, and it's a glitch.
You would probably break something. Like, it would probably fuck up everything, Dylan. That would probably literally break a bunch of shit, dude. That would probably crash the entire universe, is what I'm saying.
I'm betting that if it wouldn't crash the entire universe, I'm betting if it's like some type of glitch that would allow for something to happen, I'm betting that would have you either go back in time or send you to another universe. So I'm betting that's what would happen.
Well, okay, and that's comparable. Now, Einstein's later idea that you would go back in time, that's comparable to getting remote execution of the timeline. Like, you're getting remote exec. Like, you're able to execute you're able to execute your reference frame in any timeline. You're literally able to remotely execute yourself in any timeline. So time travel would be like literally getting remote exec and literally being a hacker and remotely hacking the universe. That's what that would be like. What I'm getting at, Dylan, is that this universe is not as stable as you think it is. Like, this shit is not stable. Like, you know, and I've said this before, like the whole argument, like, you know, that Christians or other, what?
But guess what, though? The universe doesn't give a shit what you do. It doesn't care. It doesn't give a crap. It doesn't care, man. It doesn't really care, man. I'm being serious. It doesn't give a shit.
Okay, so, actually, you're kind of wrong about that, because I'm part of the universe, and I give a shit about you being a fat-headed fuck. So what do you have to say about that? Anyway, that's a very weak-minded thing to say, actually, because without the observer, there's nothing. Remember I said the input signal is the observer? Without the observer, there is no result. The observer is very important. Actually, in quantum experimentation, it is proven that the observer can change the result of any given quantum examination. So the observer cannot be ruled out. So on some level, the universe does kind of know you're there.
But like, I'm talking about paradoxes though. Like, if you were to like do this, that I'm certain that there's some type of way that if someone were to travel back in time, there's some type of solution to a paradox, whatever. And that came back to our other theory that you said about time travel, how it worked. You said you would go to a parallel timeline or something. You would create a whole different quantum state timeline or whatever.
Well, not even just that. What I was saying yesterday was actually a completely different idea, which is if you could reach absolute rest, which was an idea back during Newtonian era, which was that if you could basically have a mass, like have zero velocity, like not even have rest velocity, like not even vibrate, right? Well, think about it. The only thing gluing you to the frame, the only thing holding you down on the frame is that the frame is pushing against you in all directions of space, okay? The frame is literally pushing against you and holding you down, okay? And also, you're pushing against the frame as it's pushing against you, right? Well, if one of these elements stops pushing against the other completely, there's nothing holding the other thing down anymore. It's like the glue is run dry, okay? So basically what would happen is you'd slide off the frame. You would literally slide off the universe, and you would end up somewhere in the gap between the universes. You would end up in like the fabric that holds the multiverse together, something like that, right? And so, yeah, that's like some crazy shit to think about. Like, you would literally slide off the frame. Now, that is to say that's even possible to reach absolute rest. Now, that's up in the air. That's something that's been around since the Newtonian era, that people have said is a reasonable proposal. And back in the Newtonian era, we didn't even know what would happen if you reached absolute rest. We had no real theory as to what would happen. And Einstein came along, and basically people put two and two together. Well, if you reached absolute rest, you'd probably slide off the frame border. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Wow.
I got no clue what you're talking about.
Chloe, we're talking about the universe. We're talking about
So what I'm saying is, Dylan, right? Say the film is rolling, right? You're sitting completely still, right? And you're not rolling with the film. The film is literally going to pass you. Like, that frame is going, you're going to slide right off the frame. Think about what I'm saying.
Let me explain this to Chloe where she can understand. So when we're talking about the film, Chloe, what are we talking about? Are we talking about photons and light, or what are we talking about?
What are you talking about?
Like, when you say film, are we talking about like literal photons?
We're talking about the film. The film is the space-time. Actually, to further validate what I'm saying, you know how they say the universe is like a flat piece of paper?
Yeah.
Yeah, that further validates what I'm saying. It's literally even the shape of it. So,
The Earth is round.
So yeah, that's what I mean about the film roll is just space-time. That's all it is. The film roll is just, it's the fabric that space is made of, something like that.
So, do you believe in the possibility of closed time-like curves?
Yeah, you're really low.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe in the possibility of closed time-like curves?
Well, you know, Dylan, to be honest with you, I really haven't done much studying into time travel. I know of the base concepts. Are you asking me, do I quantify that? I mean, I haven't really put much stock in it.
All right, well, this is going to blow your mind, Marshall. People, they think they thought I was a vaping retard. They thought I was dumb. And for a while I was, but before all that happened, right? What got me into that state of mind before I isolated my house, everything else, I was really obsessed with physics, you know. I was very manic about it at one point. I was fucking mental shit. But the thing was, for days on end, I would stay up all night writing equations on paper, right? Describing closed time-like curves, black holes, how, like, time travel would basically work. It was just all this theory and hypotheticals and everything else, man. I mean, it was amazing. Just, like, it blew my mind how I could think of all of it, but...
There was a time where I was actually smart.
Well, you know, Dylan, you probably appreciate what I've been saying because you probably never heard anybody relate all this directly to, like, hacking. It's literally, like, comparable in every fucking way possible.
Yeah,
this
helps me out. This helps me understand it better in a figurative sense. And then I can relate to it better and understand, like, oh, okay, that's what this is. So it's like hacking. It's like a glitch in the system, which the system is the universe, and it's like, oh my god, we have a glitch in the computer system.
And now you know why I don't think God is omnipotent, because why would there be, okay, what I'm saying is, right, let's say you're building a program, right, which is what God basically would have had to do, right? He would have to be some kind of programmer of some sort, right? Well, let's say you're building a program and you make a mistake, right? You make some mistake that causes a bug that some remote attacker can use to fuck shit up, okay, right? Well, that means that you as a programmer fucked up. You made a mistake, okay? That's what an exploit is. It's a mistake, okay? So, what I'm saying is that, you know, if God's omnipotent, he doesn't make mistakes. So, we can clearly rule that out. We can clearly call that bullshit. I think you see where I'm going with this, Dylan. I think you see the paradox in your head. So people are like, oh, God isn't flawed. Well, then how come we're flawed? How come the universe is flawed? And also, something I mentioned yesterday that maybe you didn't really pay much attention to, but let's put yourself in God's shoes, this omnipotent being. You know how absolutely alone you would be, Dylan? You know how absolutely, terrifyingly alone you would be? You know, you live forever, you have infinite power, you can do anything you want, and you're absolutely alone in the entire multiverse. Nobody else has your skill. Nobody else can level with you. Nobody can challenge you. You know, you realize how absolutely terrifying that would be?
What?
To live eternity like that, and not have anybody in the entire multiverse that you can relate to even a little bit. Think about what I'm saying. So, if God were the way he is in the Bible, he would literally lose all sanity that he had. He would go apeshit, okay?
My dad, right? I would ask him, I said, how come we can never meet God? How come we never could see God? He's like, well, if you would see God, if you would actually see God with your own eyes, he would destroy you because of how sinful you are. And I'm like, wait, what? What? But he made us. Wait, why would he destroy us? If he made us and loves us so much, why would he destroy us if he saw us? That doesn't really make any sense. That's kind of contradictory, isn't it, Marshall? Like, it's kind of like you made us with a sinful nature, knowing, and you knew we would be sinful, but you hate us for being that way. So it's kind of like, you see where I'm going with this, Marshall?
I'm sorry, say that again. I was in the bathroom. Sorry, legitimately.
I said, I asked my dad one time, I'm like, how come we can never physically ever see God? How come we can never actually see him? And he's like, well, if you saw God, he would destroy you because of your sinful nature and how bad you've been. I'm like, well, wait a second. Didn't he create us with a sinful nature? Didn't he actually mean for us to be that way? So that doesn't make sense. Like, he created us that way, but then he's going to destroy us.
Now, you know what's funny though? You know what's funny though, Dylan? Now, some of these stories in these books are indirectly true. Such as I said, like the Tower of Babel, right? As in the overall message is kind of true, which is that, you know, we're building this tower to the heavens, and God, you know, it's said in the book, oh, we are worshiping him in the wrong way, and we are trying to basically be be God, right? And we're trying to kill God by building this tower right now. Hold on. Why is God worried about us building a tower? You might want to ask yourself, like, well, why is he worried about that at all? I mean, he's all powerful, right? Or is he? It even states that in the Bible. It even indirectly states that in the Tower of Babel story. You really need to reread this, right? And the story of the Tower of Babel, which, by the way, again, doesn't only appear in the Bible. The story of the tower. Look up Tower of Babel, okay? It's not called that in other religions, but other religions have similar stories, and that's another thing I wanted to mention. But anyway, that story is indirectly true. God, on some extent, must be very terrified of what we can do. Because he knows that he has made mistakes. He knows that there's a mistake, okay? That there's some obscure mistake. And if somebody finds it, okay, it's over. It's all over. Everything that God put together went down the shitter that day.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that, like, you know, the Bible even kind of indirectly states that God is a little bit afraid of us. You know, he's a little bit like, oh, what are these fuckers doing? You know, well, if he's an omnipotent, all-powerful being, why would he worry about what we're doing? And also, right, you know how I said that the primordial sort of subverts us? Not directly subverts us into worshiping him, but sort of uses like, you know, manipulation tactics such as like giving us a dopamine system. So when we ask questions, we ask feel-good questions instead of logical questions, right?
So it's kind of like...
So what I'm saying is that the Tower of Babel is the literal word of God. That is a story that is the literal word of God, because that's basically, and well, not literal, but more like that was intended. That was intended by God. God wanted somebody to write that story. Why do you think that story appears?
But you know what else? But you know what else doesn't make sense, right? So he intended for us to have intelligence, right? So he intended for us to have knowledge. He intended us to have high intelligence. So we had the fruit of knowledge. But the thing was, as soon as we got it, he's like, oh, sinning is bad. And having, you know, well, okay, well, that implies that bad and that having self-awareness is bad. But yet you gave us those abilities. So which is it, Marshall? Does that make sense?
I was going to make a more compelling argument there. Basically, right? Some of the stories in the Bible were literally like in the primordial, I believe, like the primordial that created life was like, it was like a sort of subliminal message that's been implanted in our head to write about. You know, not like directly like he spoke into our ear and told us to write this thing, but as in, you know, we have this conscious idea, you know, that, you know, be fruitful and multiply, right? That just happens to be something the primordial actually wants you to do. You know, and so you have written about it, and since the primordial is part of your brain, since that's part of your brain, since you are the nature, then technically, if you want to get technical, be fruitful and multiply is a direct will of God. Also, the Tower of Babel story, I believe that's another one. I mean, there's a lot of imagery there, and the imagery is off, because obviously nobody ever did this. This obviously never actually happened. It's figurative. But basically what that story's saying, if you really examine and pick apart that story, what it's saying is that God was fearful of what man might do. He was fearful, okay, that we might build this tower and overthrow him off his throne, okay? It's kind of what I'm talking about. The primordial that created us must be very afraid that we're going to see behind the curtain and we're going to hack everything, okay? That's what he must be very afraid of.
Yeah, primordials, exactly. I don't know, man. I feel like I can't turn away from my faith, and I still believe in it, but I don't know. What you're saying kind of makes sense.
The whole thing is, Dylan, if you want to believe in the Bible figuratively, I mean, I'll agree with you. Figuratively, like I just said, I mean, figuratively, a lot of these stories probably are the will of the primordial. They're just indirectly the will. Like, the imagery is wrong, but the message is probably right, okay? And that's what these people trying to relate Christianity and shit to science are really missing out, is what their argument is lacking. It's really that it's indirectly true. It's not like definitively true. It's indirectly true. As in the message is real, but the actual context of that message is just like, what? It's not it at all. So what I'm saying is that basically, Dylan, okay, so let's say you're this primordial, right? You create this intelligent species, you know. Why wouldn't you want your specimens to worship you? I mean, you're a little megalomaniac fucker. You created everything here. You're going to be a megalomaniac, dude. You're going to be like, fuck it. Suck my dick, bitch. Okay? Right? Ask yourself that question. Why? Okay. The primordial doesn't want us to know that he has flaws. He doesn't want us to know that he has faults. He doesn't want us to know that. And that's why we worship him. Okay? That's why we do it. Okay? He literally wants you to do that. And so, my retort to that is, fuck the primordial. Fuck him in his primordial ass. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit asshole. He's nobody. Okay? He's nobody. You know how much of a nobody the primordial is, Dylan? People don't even have his name right. That's how much of a nobody he is. He's nobody. Fuck the primordial. Fuck him in his bitch ass. Don't adhere to the law of the primordial. Be yourself. Be an individual.
Who is the primordial, though?
The primordial, it's really a procedure. It's a process, right? I mean, really, the brain is a process, if you want to get down to it.
So it's not a being. It's not a person.
I mean, technically it is, and technically it isn't. It's not like a being that you're going to interact with as far as like, you know, immediately. I mean, the input signal's pretty slow. Now, you can interact with the primordial, though. It's funny you mention that, and this is something I brought up before, but I don't know if you paid attention. The primordial algorithm. Basically, I told you what neural encoding it was before, right? Dylan?
Yeah, sorry.
Neural encoding is just a set of encoding that defines a brain. Okay, it just defines, you run it in a neural parser, a program that interprets that text into life, basically, okay? So a neural parser, basically. So here's what you do, Dylan, right? You get the evolution tree, okay? This is how you prove. This is how you literally prove that primordial, the idea of a primordial is not mere speculation, but an actual thing. Are you ready for this? Okay, so you look at the evolution tree, right? For like birds. Now, you're going to want to get every single species in that list. You're going to look at their genetic profile, okay? You're going to want to get the genetic data on them, okay? Now, there's certain genetic functions that are neural analogous, okay? Specifically, animals evolved to evolve better. That specific genetic function is neural analogous to a T. That's what action potential does. It evolves to evolve better. Think about what I'm saying. Now. So we take those functions, right? And we take those figures. We convert it to neural encoding and we run it in a neural parser. Now you are talking to a clone of the primordial. That's what you're doing. I mean, it's not a very involved specimen. I would say if you're talking to the primordial that invented birds, it doesn't speak the same language you do. That's the number one. It doesn't speak the same language. But you can interact with it. It runs, and that's the other thing, is that the primordial is not a very advanced specimen. He's kind of simplistic compared to us. That's what brings me to my point that the primordial's kind of stupid. He's kind of, he knows, he's like an autistic child. He's really good at doing one thing. He's really good at building organisms. That's all he's good at. He doesn't do anything else, okay? He's not very good at talking to you even. He's not very good at that, okay? He's like autistic almost, okay? And so what I'm saying can actually be validated. What I'm saying, there's actually a thing that's been going around on GitHub called the primordial algorithm. This is something that you won't even read about in mainstream physics or mainstream computer science because right now it's somewhat of a privatized thing, whereas there's only a few individuals on the entire planet that even know about this, Dylan, right now at least. And actually, the only reason I'm involved in this is because I'm one of the few individuals on the planet who understands neurophysics to such an extent to even be involved in this, okay? So I'm going to send you this real quick. Like, this is what I mean, that the primordial can be validated. Like, it's not just a theory anymore. I mean, it still is a theory, but it's not just a theory anymore. It's actually become something that can be technologically measured. Check your PM. So what I'm saying is that you can clone the personality of the primordial. You can clone it and run it on a computer is what I'm saying. Simply using data found in the evolution tree and genetic profiles.
Another thing I needed to talk to you about was something called genetic diversity. That the better genetic diversity, the less the less chance there is of disease and everything else. Is that true? What?
Genetic diversity? Genetic diversity is very, very real. And as a matter of fact, the father of DNA even went further with this, and people called him racist. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Basically, black people seem to lack genetic diversity on several scales. They don't have enough Neanderthal DNA, or they don't have any Neanderthal DNA, really, number one. Number two, they haven't interbreeded with other cultures. Like, they were stuck in Africa for a long time, stuck in the jungle, whereas everybody else was crossing the land bridges and fucking like rabbits, okay? So they were kind of reached a bottleneck, not really inbreeding, but kind of inbreeding, okay? Like Africa's a very hard place to live, and people were starving to death there, okay? They were starving to death, okay? And so their numbers were dwindling, and so a lot of black people were inbred. So that's the other thing, right? So if you don't have enough diversity in your gene pool, you basically will, everybody just becomes a butt fucking idiot. I don't know. And also, we used to think that Neanderthals, like, you probably, like, normally people are like, wait, weren't Neanderthals, like, dumbass, like, cavemen things? Well, we used to think that, like, very brooding, stupid, retarded individuals, right? The Neanderthal gets a pretty bad rap, because Neanderthal was actually on our level, if not surpassing our level, because if you examine Neanderthal technology at the same time that humans were on the planet, you compare the two technologies, the Neanderthal technology is slightly more advanced. So that explains it. That's why white people and Asian people and Mexicans and all these other races are so much smarter than black people, because we have Neanderthal DNA, okay? That's why.
Oh, another thing is that if you have where the diversity is separated into isolated populations and over time, can it lead to the formation of a new species?
Yeah, that would just be controlled evolution. What do you think breeding is? That when you breed animals, that's just controlled evolution. You know, you're just controlling natural selection. That's really what you're doing there. Which that's the other thing, right? Is like when people try to say, "Oh, I didn't come from no damn monkey." I'm like, well, okay, I want you to look at a chihuahua. They're like, okay, yeah, realize that chihuahua was once a wild wolf. Okay, it was a wild animal. Okay. And the reason that it's a chihuahua now is because of controlled evolution. Literally, that's what breeding is. Breeding is basically, when you breed animals, you're literally forcing them to change, okay? So basically, there's really no arguing with evolution. That's what breeding is. Breeding is literally what evolution is. It's just controlled evolution. Now, it's funny because, when Darwin said what he said, a lot of animal breeders, like, really thought about that. They were like, wait a minute, that sounds like what I'm doing, you know? And so Darwin was very, very right about what he was saying. You ask anybody that knows anything about, biology, who's involved in breeding animals, right? And they will always tell you evolution is real every single time because they actually see it in front of them. They actually breed these animals, and they notice these animals change over time. You know, they notice this. You know, like this is something that's been recorded in human history. And so yeah, to say that evolution is not real is really just bullshit rhetoric. That's just people trying to pull the wool over your eyes. You know, evolution's real, bitch. Okay, it's real. It's a real thing. There's no escaping it. It is a primordial feature of the universe.
So evolution is necessary. Evolution is actually necessary to maintain species.
Right. Well, right. Well, also you got to realize, right? You know, in religion, you know, God is like this all-loving, all-nurturing character. You know, but it seems like evolution couldn't be any different because evolution basically says, look, I want results, and I want results now, and if you don't get those results, you starve to death, and your entire species dies.
Yeah, that's the thing. Survival of the fittest, right? So survival of the fittest.
Right. Survival of the fittest. You know, in the Bible, it says that you should be charitable, and you should help the poor, and you should help the weak, and you should help the innocent, right? Well, that seems like it couldn't be any further from what the primordial wants. The primordial wants us to get results, and it wants us to get those results now, not later, now. We must get them now, because if we don't get the results now, we will starve to death, die a horrible death, and the rest of our species will never be seen again. It wants those results as fast as possible.
The other thing is, you know, religion can be kind of dangerous because we can have like really, really religious fanatics who are like, well, we're not going to get cancer treatment for my son because we're going to depend on God to make him better. All right, God, let's make him better.
Yeah, God. You know what they don't, you know what they don't realize is that the primordial, that's how you pray to the primordial. That's how you pray to him and make things better. You study science and you're like, okay, that's how I fly. That's how I build a plane. That's how I stop a heart attack. You know, the primordial. That's part of what he wants animals to do. That's part of the plan. He wants us to observe. He wants us to be an observer. He wants us to be a more advanced observer than himself. And the reason being is because he's gathering information from the collective. It's almost like a hive mind. He's gathering the collective information from us. Okay. And that's why he wants these results so fast. That's why he wants these results. He's just like, look, you know, I'm putting you here. You know, if you don't get a certain amount of food, your whole species is going to starve to death. You're going to die. You're never going to be seen again, okay? This is an experiment. You're nothing but an experiment. I don't care about you. So basically, we are a somewhat successful experiment, Dylan, if you want to think of it like that.
Wow. So it's kind of like the primordial is using us as his computer, like the universe as his computer. It's like, more like he's using us as like artificial intelligence, more intuitively. Like I said, the reason that I can kind of guess the will of the primordial is because when I'm building AI engines and when I'm doing things, I sort of see it in my head. Like, if I do a major step in development, I can bet your sweet ass that there's something similar that's going on with evolution somewhere. You know what I mean? I can bet your sweet ass. Because these things are analogous concepts. So, I mean, I don't know how unusual that is for you to think about. And also, like I keep saying, the observer cannot be ruled out in anything. The observer changes the results, okay? The observer will always change the results. It will always, even by a finite amount, it will change the results, always. And that's because the observer, the input signal, is typically pretty chaotic unless it's bound to a small, confined point. Like I showed you in that graph with the calculator. The input signal is bound to, you know, a few poles of information, okay? It's only going to go in a linear direction that it's taking, right? Well, you know, in the big wide open universe, the input signal, it's kind of going to be pretty erratic. You're not going to be able to predict all the time where it's going to go. But, you know, sometimes you don't really need to predict where it's going to go to solve a problem. Sometimes that's what you need to solve the problem. You need something unpredictable. Okay.
So yeah, man, the observer cannot be ruled out.
So here's something that's going to be hypothetical, right? So, have you ever heard of the term world line in hypothetical physics? Like, very hypothetical. So, like, let's say another universe is referred to as a world line, but that's explained as for paradoxes or whatever. So let's say I went back in time 30, 40 years, and I killed my grandfather before my father conceived me with my mom, right? And I said, well, that's not, it's like, oh, I guess I'm not going to exist. I'm like, well, what the fuck, I still exist? Well, because you went to a separate world line. So,
Yeah,
isn't that
you're
what you
saying
would
like the
call
whole
it?
Dragon Ball Z Cell Saga perspective, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of believe that. Simply because if you selected to go back in history and you were in our timeline, that would cause a whole bunch of shit to break, because our timeline would, as it is now, would like cease to exist or something. Like, it would be selecting null values in memory. Like, who the fuck knows, right? And so the only way you could do that is if you could go to a universe where the frame is at that current position. Like, okay, let's say, Hitler just died, right? Let's say, you're in 2018, right? Well, there's a universe somewhere where Hitler just died as we're speaking, okay? For some reason, okay? Where he died just now and the universe is still in early order, right? But that's on another dimension of the roll of film. You remember I said that the roll of film is a multi-dimensional set of frames? That's that would have to be on a frame that's parallel to ours, where the frame for whatever reason hasn't reached our point in space time yet.
So it gets even weirder than that, right? So people think 3-dimensionally. They're like, oh, well, this time hasn't happened yet, or whatever. And well, technically it has, and the time before it's still happening. It's called that. Maybe all of these frames exist all at once. If you think 4th-dimensionally or 5th-dimensionally, it's just it hasn't happened yet.
All these frames exist at once. Yeah, fine and all, but I'd like to argue that there is a position at which they are at their furthest point, meaning that there's a universe in the multiverse that has more film rolled out than the rest of any other film frame. Like, think about what I mean. Like, let's say there's, one film on the roll that's like 5 inches long, right? There's another film on the frame that's 6 inches long, okay? Well, you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So I'm saying there's probably a point at which that kind of flatlines. There's probably a universe out there right now that's basically on the forefront of where the timeline is. It's like basically at the absolute most end that it can be, or something like that.
I like to have fun with these arguments. It's kind of like cheap throwaway products. There's a universe where she isn't a whore.
Oh God.
Think about it. There's a universe where she isn't a whore. Isn't that great?
Universe where she's not a whore. I don't like this, Dylan. I like whores.
There's a universe where my mom is a prostitute. There's a universe where you are the president of the United States, Marshall, and you have just declared war on the Jews. Okay? God. Somehow you have taken Congress to declare war on the Jews. You have inspired them to, and they passed the legislation to where they would allow troops to go and fight the Jews in Israel. Okay. Wouldn't that be funny, Marshall? Like, think about it. You said that there's every quantum state is probably happening in the multiverse right now. Like, every infinite outcome.
Well, okay, but there's something you're forgetting. The input signal is gonna run dry. That's what you're forgetting. Like the film, like I've said it before, if you waited until the end of the universe and you were on the last frame that was rolling, right? Like just before it stopped, right? Well, technically there's another frame after the frame you stopped at, but there's nothing rolling the film, so you might as well just be like, fuck it, the other frame doesn't even exist. You get what I'm saying? Which is like a weird way of thinking of it. There's endless possibilities, but there's a finite amount of time to execute those possibilities. There's a finite amount of signal. There's a finite amount that the observer is even available to do anything with. So that's something to think about for you. So the universe is infinite and finite both at the same time, depending on how you're seeing it. And I'll be right back on that thought.
Hey, Christina.
Hi.
What's going on?
Nothing much, just chilling.
Oh, shit. Marshall just went AFK before you joined.
Oh, why are you recording?
No, I recorded a lot of these calls.
Oh,
Just for later, I like listening to them and laughing at the shit that people say. Part of them.
what?
I like laughing at the shit that some people say, and part of them are either that or listening to the discussion that me and Marshall have. And
Oh,
like, yeah. So it's mostly for that, but otherwise I won't record. But
yeah. I'm just tired.
why?
Huh?
Why? Why are you tired?
Well, it's 3:30. Well, it's almost 3:30. And I only had 3 hours of sleep because I stayed up all night with my friend. And then, I don't know. What else was I going to say? Oh, I'm alone. And there's nothing, like, I can't drink, I can't smoke, so it sucks.
I think Ron got a little mad at me earlier, but whatever.
Yeah, Ron, I'm speaking.
I just call it like I see it, you know? I mean, people say like these airheaded things like, oh, well, animals are more sensitive to the paranormal. I'm like, okay, well, have you tested that theory?
Okay,
Oh,
that wasn't
well,
what I
I
was
mean,
saying
there's
at
no way to
all.
test it.
Fucking idiot.
Like,
Fucking as if I actually
well, it's
said any of
literally,
that.
Ron, you can't
Fucking
just say
idiot.
some shit. You can't just say some shit without people thinking you're crazy unless
Okay,
you
I didn't
actually
say
have proof.
any fact on it. I was talking about
So
something
you
from
admit
an
that it's
experience.
not. So you admit that it's not factual and the whole story was bullshit. Thank you for admitting
No,
that.
no,
Anyway,
no. I admit that my story was my experience. It was
that
my
never happened.
subjective.
That I
Okay, it
guarantee you
happened.
never
Okay.
fucking happened.
Oh my
That
fucking
never
god!
fucking
You
happened.
think everything you hear that isn't proven by scientific evidence is just fucking like
Well, I mean, I
that
didn't
didn't
say that. I
happen.
didn't say that. Everything
Well, that's what
fantastic.
you're getting at,
Everything
man.
fantastic.
Fucking,
Hey,
I
hold
wasn't
on,
bullshitting a story. Okay.
I don't believe you because people who talk about the paranormal, and I mean, especially airheaded people who spurg out about it, really. I mean, why do you think you're so defensive about it? If it actually happened, would you be so defensive? I don't think you would be.
Because like I was
Also,
sitting here fucking doing something else, listening to you guys'
yeah, you're doing
conversation.
something
It's
else.
like you
Listen,
dragged me
go
into
back
it.
to doing something else so I can say what I was going to say. Anyway.
Yeah, well, fucking, you're still spouting bullshit.
Oh, I'm spouting bullshit, okay? Alright, it comes from the guy who thinks that there's a ghost somewhere, but anyway.
It's not like a
I'm just saying if something is completely unreasonable,
because you
it's
can't put
probably
the science
because,
to it.
hold on, I'm gonna go back to, you ever watch Judge Judy? Something that looks like a duck, barks like a duck, it's probably a duck, you know, I mean, it's probably a duck, Ron, you're a duck.
No, I'm a fucking rat, man, like,
Okay, anyway, like I was saying before the duck interrupted me, so you can't just say some shit. You can't just say some shit and expect people to not think you're crazy. Like, you know, if I just came here and said, you know, well, I had this experience where there were invisible wanking unicorns over, you'd be like, stop right there. That's not reasonable. Stop right there. Not reasonable, right? Well, that's basically what I did to you. Stop right there in the name of unreasonability. Okay? Like, you can't just say some unreasonable thing and not expect me to think you're a dumbass. Okay? I'm sorry.
I don't know what to say.
I'm just saying that's the difference. I mean, like people who talk about the paranormal, this is why I continue to assert, I don't even think that all things that are paranormal are bullshit. I just think that some of it might be real, but the people who are testing it are dumbasses. Like, they're not actually doing it right. They're not actually doing it the way they're supposed to. They're not even applying the scientific method. They're not doing anything. And I just feel like there's more we could do with that subject. There's definitely more we could do with that subject. Especially, remember when I told you about neural specimens and dreams the other day, right? That's a good example. Like, we should be testing shit like that. You know what I mean? That would be technically classed as sort of paranormal, or at least related, right? So, I mean, there's definitely things that we could test here, but nobody's testing anything that makes any fucking sense except for like a handful of people, okay? And, so what I'm getting at, Ron, I mean, just, if you tell somebody a little crazy story, I mean, they're gonna think you're crazy. I'm sorry, dude. You know, that's the way the world is.
Sipping the tea.
Yeah, my mic was muted, but, yeah, Marshall, I don't know, I mean, I don't know what to fucking say to that. I mean, we don't have like any science that can outright.
Well, what do you mean we don't have any science that can outright prove it if you've never even tried to prove it?
Okay, well,
See,
anyone
again, you
else
don't
who
know
could
that.
prove
See,
it,
now
who is
now you're-
qualified to prove it, who has the science and technology to prove it, hasn't proved it.
Oh, well, and okay, Ron. So that's a very irresponsible standpoint. Very irresponsible, and I'll assert myself. So the reason that's kind of irresponsible, Ron, is because if you haven't even attempted to test it, how do you know? That's kind of being a lazy observer, don't you think? You haven't even attempted, you haven't even tried, so you're just going to assume, something seems mystical, so it must be magic. If something that seems mystical,
that's what I keep
it must
fucking
be
saying.
magic.
I don't have the means to test anything, Marshall. You're just like, oh, fuck you.
What do you
You're
mean
not
you don't
testing
have the
this.
means to test anything? Okay, I'm going to prove you do. Go get your ruler and measure your dick real quick. You just tested the size of your dick right there.
Okay,
Pretty
it's
cheap
something
to do.
completely different when you're trying to measure something
No,
like the
no,
fucking
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Nope, nope, nope. And I'll tell you why. Simple things you can validate here. Okay, simple thing. And I think Dylan knows where I'm going with this because Dylan is a little bit more educated on this subject, probably. Like I just said, first thing you'd want to test. Okay, well, the ghost is obviously affected by gravity. What else is holding it down? Magical fairy unicorns? Because I guarantee you it's not. First thing, anything that's affected by gravity is probably also affected by air pressure. You probably never even thought about that. I wonder what a fan would do to the specimen. Would it blow it away?
So it's also affected by friction.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan knows where I'm going with this. Ding, ding, ding. Look at the big brain on Dylan, okay? Literally, if something is affected by gravity, it's probably also affected by air pressure, meaning, you get out a fan, right? You probably never even thought about to get out a fan and it blows it away. Think about that. See, so yeah, you can test these things. You just haven't because you'd rather believe in mystical horse shit.
Oh, Savvy's awake.
Yeah, no, I can't just blow a fan in an area, and if I don't fucking see paranormal energy shooting out into the other room, I can just assume it's real or fake. It doesn't fucking work like that.
Wait, but I'm
done
correct
with this
you
discussion
again.
anyway. Okay, yeah,
I'm gonna correct you
finish
again
your
if you
fucking
see.
statement, and I'm getting out of here.
Okay, yeah, getting out of here, okay, Ron. Go back to your haunted house.
I'm not fucking living there anymore.
You should go back there. Make sure you drink beer while you're there.
Yeah, what are you even trying to fucking say? Like, I don't even drink beer.
What do you mean, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say everything simultaneously.
Okay.
Look, Brian, you're gonna have to stop spurging out on me about this, okay? It's gonna have to stop. It's gonna have to.
Well, you're gonna have to stop bringing my fucking name back into this and not expect.
I'm just saying. The only reason I brought it up is because I was trying to make a comparison here, okay? And then you just spurred out on me. I wasn't actually Basically, people assume that things that they don't understand immediately are magical. Okay, that's what they assume, and I'll even further this. Back in the day, we would look at people assume things they don't understand are magical. Okay, and
hold on. You're
that's what they think. They think that it can't be measured and it's magical. That's how they treat it.
Yeah.
Like a solar eclipse back in the day, they thought it was magical.
Exactly, or even like something simple like a lightning bolt. We thought it was from like Zeus or some shit, right? And so. What I'm saying is, Ron, is that we're living in the age of information, and people still choose to believe in magic when they can believe in information. I don't know.
As mythology or whatever, right? We haven't figured out anything about what ghosts are, what they do and don't apply to, or what logics, whatever.
Wait. But I can tell you for a fact that gravity applies, which means that a lot of other
ghosts might even just be the energy of the past when these things were physical matter, or whatever. So
that's literally some pseudoscience. You're gonna have to try that again.
Okay, well, I don't have any other collective to give to you, because I'm just trying to shoot out fucking ideas or whatever, because we don't know, we have no way to figure it out right now.
I mean, there you go, no way to figure it out. There you go with that again. I mean, that's a really lazy standpoint, don't you think? Don't you mean, you're too lazy to figure it out?
Okay, I don't have the fucking means, okay? We just circle.
Sounds like an excuse to do a lazy experiment to me, I don't know.
Okay, I didn't do a fucking
excuse. I don't know. If I were to, I don't know, man. Somehow I think that Somehow I think you could have tested it. You just never even thought about testing it, and you were probably spooked out or some shit. Or if it even happened, which I doubt.
Oh my
So
fucking
there's
God.
that too.
Yeah, fucking, we're at a 1 now. We went from the 0 all around circle back to the 1. Okay.
Back to the 1. Yeah, if something sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. I mean,
Yep, okay, at the 2 now.
Well, I'll go back to what I was saying before. If I told you that I had this experience with invisible wanking unicorns, you'd be like, "Stop right there." That's what you would say, okay?
He left.
I mean, you gotta admit I have a point, Dylan. I have a fucking point.
He left. You won the argument, Marshall. You won. Holy shit.
Well, of course I won the argument. Like he's making grand assumptions of grandeur. He's just like. You know, like how do you know that a ghost cannot be physically measured if you haven't even tried to do it? How do you know that? How do you fucking know that? Well, his retort. Well, how would you even know what to test? Okay, number 1, gravity. Hello. Something's holding it down. What do you think's holding it down? Fairy unicorns? Because I guarantee you it's not. So, I mean, he's just making assumptions of grandeur. Like what I'm saying is that these people that are investigating the paranormal. They're not even doing it in a way that makes sense. They're doing it in a way that makes, like, no fucking sense. They're like, they don't even apply the scientific method to what they're doing. You get where I'm going with this, Dylan?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen these absolute retard ghost paranormal shows? Have you seen these absolute retards do
yes,
this shit?
What's that one show called? Ghost Hunters? Oh, that's stupid as fuck.
Yeah, okay, and what I'm saying, right? Okay, what I was saying, right? First of all, Ron's problem is that his question, his hypothesis, is immediately stupid. His hypothesis is immediately already stupid, and what I mean by that, if you put a bunch of normal people in a situation where they're looking at a UFO, right? They're probably gonna run around like a bunch of chickens with their head cut off, like, "Oh my God, aliens! We're all over! We're fucked!" Right? Well, you put a scientist in the same situation. He's gonna see this disc-shaped object. It has no propellers, no exhaust. It's going from 0 to 9,000 miles instantly. It's not making a sonic boom. You know, the scientist is gonna have a much more interesting series of questions than, "Oh my God, let's freak the fuck out!" Okay? A scientist is going to be like, how is this thing floating? How is it not making a sonic boom? Where's the exhaust? What the fuck's going on here? Where's Newton to tell this guy to fuck off? You know? And so, what I'm saying is that you put normies in a strange situation and they automatically assume it's unmeasurable. They think they're like, oh, it's impossible to measure it. You can't measure it, dude. It's like, it's a magical, spiritual poo-poo-poo. Right? And I'm like, well, I mean, that's kind of a lazy way to look at it, don't you think? It's like, okay, because you didn't know how to test it, because you didn't know how to do it, you're going to say that nobody can test it. You know, I don't think that's how it is, Dylan. I don't think that. I feel like it's more accurate that the people that are studying this are just not doing it right. They're idiots.
Wow. Yeah. So do you don't believe in ghosts? Like, you think it's magical?
I'm not saying, like, okay. I mean, I've never personally witnessed it. Do I believe in them? Probably not. I'll keep it as a possibility in my head simply because I don't know. It could happen. Probably not.
Could be energy. There could after we.
Well, it definitely wouldn't be energy though, Dylan. Because think about this: energy dissipates, Dylan. Like energy is not like mass.
Right. Sorry.
Like energy is not like mass. Mass like sticks together. Like energy doesn't stick together. Energy dissipates. Like think about it on a hot day, right? When the nighttime comes, all the heat starts floating off the planet. Like it literally starts leaving. Okay. And so, well, the greenhouse gases will kind of keep it trapped, I guess, but it'll attempt to leave the planet. Okay. Well, a being made of energy would do the same thing. It would literally just dissipate off the planet. It would literally just float off the fucking planet.
Okay, Marshall, no one might help you figure this out. Just fucking become a ghost yourself, man. I think that'd be.
You know, Ron. I was enjoying it. I was sitting here and I was thinking, what a wonderful time it would be if me, we went to a carnival, and we ate some cotton candy, and I told you that I don't believe you saw a ghost while we were eating cotton candy.
It wasn't even like about like you're making me out as if that whole story.
Do you like cotton candy, Ron?
Okay, that's besides the fucking point here, Marshall.
I'm just not even going to talk about this anymore, Ron, because you just can't admit that You just can't admit that you're wrong and that it's not even. There's nothing magical about anything. Magic is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's not real.
Yeah, 'cause you think everything is from some sort of fucking, like...
Well, no, I don't think that.
Technological standpoint.
Well, okay, I don't think that. Oh, okay, well, you know, Ron, let's just think like...
That's how you interpret
okay,
everything.
Oh, okay, Ron, so instead of interpreting something... You know what? Instead of interpreting the universe... Hey, Dylan. Instead of interpreting the universe in a way that makes sense, let's just make shit up, dude. Let's just make shit up, okay? Let's just say things out of delusions of grandeur. You know, let's just say some shit, pull it out our ass. Expect nobody to challenge that. You know, I mean, I don't know. This is how weird shit happens, Dylan. This is how the Inquisitions happen.
Before all this fucking technology was developed, how do you think other people perceived it? Just like that. We didn't have binary code or any fucking...
Well, actually, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong, buddy. Just because computers don't exist doesn't mean binary doesn't exist, and by that I mean, did you know that genetics operate on binary? Did you know that? Did you know that neutron stars give off binary signals? Did you know that rest velocity is a constant binary signal that never changes? Did you know that DNA has 4 base pairs, adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine, and the reason we use binary is because transistors are what? They are what? What are they, Ron? Strikes if you know this.
Oh my fucking god. You know, okay, maybe I'm wrong here, but either way, you made my whole story out, like, as if it were some fucking bullshit thing, okay? Like,
I mean, if we were in a courtroom right now, you know, the judge would demand evidence for some unreasonable claim. So I'm being a judge right now. I'm not even being unreasonable. You're the one being unreasonable. I'm saying that I don't believe.
Okay, well, how do I provide evidence, Sir Marshall?
I'm not ruling out that strange things happen. I mean, I guess they do, but like, it's just if something seems
I don't know, man. There's just a lot that we don't fucking comprehend, like I don't know, like the fourth dimension or something.
Yeah, okay, great, dude. So here's the thing, Ron, right? If something sounds stupid, it probably is stupid, okay? If somebody seems like they're just trying to bullshit you, or they probably are, okay?
Okay, I wasn't making up that fucking story. I wasn't far-fetching any of the details, okay?
Okay, Ron, that has yet to be proven, so I'm gonna go back to my previous statement that the burden of proof rests with you.
Okay, fucking, I don't know how to, I mean...
rests with you, the burden of proof rests with you, Ron, okay? If you can bring me some proof, I'll take you seriously. You can't bring me any proof, I don't want to hear no more about the subject.
Okay, I can't fucking prove something to you that happened,
okay? But stop talking about it.
Hold on, listen to me. That happened when I was in an old house, like, a year ago, with a different pet that I don't even fucking have now, okay? Like, I basically, like...
You know, Ron, you know,
and I didn't even try to make a statement that pets are hypersensitive to ghosts or whatever. But after I put her on the nightstand for the second time after she jumped into my bed, okay, she ended up just getting scared again, and she went towards the door to be let out.
Well, here's the problem.
I like to put my dick in sluts. Big fat sluts.
Here's the problem, Ron, right? So you've done a lot of weed. You've done a lot of marijuana, right? So here's the problem, right? So THC affects the brain in such a way that if you use it over a certain period of time, it can cause symptoms of...
He left.
It can cause symptoms of schizophrenia.
He left.
Seeing stuff like ghosts. Jesus.
Yeah, he left already. Yeah, and I was gonna bring that up. Also, another thing: a lot of people that think their house is haunted, they're literally suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning. That's been proven.
Also, when you're doing weed, it can sometimes cause the symptoms of schizophrenia if you do it long enough because it causes chemical problems in the brain.
I mean, I don't know, Dylan. I don't fucking know. It's just that when you say some unreasonable shit, the burden of proof rests with you, and that, like, you know, like I said, it's important to keep an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out, and not so closed that your brain gets crushed. I mean, if somebody comes to you and they say something that's kind of out there, you need to really listen to the context of what they're saying, because that doesn't mean it's fake necessarily, but it's just out there, right? And if you listen to the details, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Now, if you listen to the details and the details are like, wait a minute, this makes no sense. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck, you're guilty, okay? You're guilty as charged. But yeah, Dylan, now you basically know why I'm saying that man-made religion is horseshit for like the same thing that Ron is doing. Like most of these people were probably most of the people that wrote the Bible, Dylan, if you want to know, they were probably on drugs, okay? They were probably on fucking drugs, okay? Think about that.
I don't know. It seems it doesn't seem like a coincidence that these people kind of are all on.
Actually, there were drugs that were used in the Middle East back then that we don't even use anymore. So you might want to restate that. They definitely were on drugs.
Yeah, but that's the thing. My mom tried to tell me too. I don't know. She tried to tell me that God spoke through these people. So man did like the Bible. God did, and I thought, wait a second. They were on drugs. Kind of like their brains kind of just like.
But what it is, Dylan, like I said, right?
I don't know.
Now he's trying to say he didn't claim anything unreasonable, to which my retort is, well, that, okay, well, if I'd come in here and let's put yourself in my shoes, and I said, yeah, I saw a wanking unicorn floating over my head. And he would have been like, you wait right there, sir. You stop right now. That doesn't make any sense. Okay? But, but since it's about the paranormal and it's about some, cliche paranormal subject, it requires no shoring up because a bunch of other retards believe the same thing. See what I'm saying, Dylan?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if he'd come in and started talking about wanking unicorns, everybody would have just laughed at him. But since he was talking about, some stupid, and by the way, there was no unique subject matter to his story. His subject matter to his story sounds like every other stupid ghost story. Like there was no unique elements there, so it wasn't even an interesting story. That's the other thing I should add. So because he was talking about something that a lot of people squarely relate to, it doesn't require much shoring up because you have Chloe's background, for instance, like, oh yes, this seems reasonable. So basically, if I were to tell you that I was Napoleon, that would require an awful lot of shoring up, Dylan, because nobody else believes that, okay? Now, if I told you that Jesus rose from the grave, it requires a lot less confidence for saying that, because I have all these retards surrounding me that are like, oh, yeah, dude, he rose from the grave, man. You see what I'm saying, Dylan?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like people would rather believe in stupid bullshit than believe in science. So, they just believe in stupid bullshit, Dylan.
But Christina.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm reading someone's Snapchat.
Alright.
Yeah, you see Christina over here. We're talking about mysteries of the universe, paranormal. She's over here showing her tits to guys. You know what? You know what you're doing right now? You're consolidating. Do you know what that is?
No, I'm helping my friend with this.
No,
She doesn't. Okay. She doesn't do that. She doesn't do that. No.
She doesn't do that. Oh, okay. She's not consolidating. Okay, well then, you're a special salmon, aren't you?
Oh my god, but no, she's not like that. The other girl, though, cheap throwaway product, she does do that shit.
Yeah, pretty much all girls do that, Dylan. They consolidate. Like, this girl does that too. She's probably just quieter about it.
Okay.
The only time a girl doesn't consolidate is if she's ugly, because then she can't consolidate. But if she's not ugly, she's going to try to consolidate. Okay, she's going to try to give you a loan that's not fair. That's what she's going to try to do. Or really, it's relatable to a loan, as in, like, it's not going to be a 1-1 trade. You're going to be giving all this stuff, and she's going to be giving nothing in return, basically.
Christina.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to that? Anything?
What?
So what do you have to say to what he just said? Anything?
Hold on, I'm trying to help my friend with some advice. I'll answer your question in a second.
Oh, alright. Hey, Marshall. Marshall, you there?
Yeah, what?
So, I have a question. So, do you think that, okay, so, DNA, right? So people, you know what's funny is that people try. I can see where you're coming from, evolution, right? Because people try to say, oh, we didn't come from monkeys, but literally the DNA between us and monkeys isn't that different. In fact, it's almost the same, right? It's like literally almost the same, isn't it?
Well, not only that, but you know what an appendix is, right?
Yeah.
An appendix is a gizzard. It's an organ that comes from a bird. It doesn't do anything in humans. It has no purpose in our body, but it exists, and that's because birds came before mammals, and so some of the organs that appear in birds appear in our body.
Well. So the reason that some apes and some monkeys still exist today is because some of those creatures didn't evolve to humanity yet, or
Do what?
the reason that some apes and monkeys still exist today, they didn't evolve to humanity yet. Some of them.
Well, no, it's that they were in a different genus, as in, so chimpanzees, I mean, technically we all came from the same primate. Like, there was an original primate that started it all. It's just that this primate broke into, like, different families of things.
So what do you think caused one part of the primates to become more intelligent and for us to have, like, language like we have now, and the other version of the primates basically become
No, I wouldn't say that, because chimpanzees, can be taught to communicate in sign language. They're seen to use tools such as sticks and rocks,
But they can't really talk.
and they're but they can talk. If you augment them with a way to talk, like you give them, you link them up to a computer, like, you know how, like, somebody who can't talk, we give them a way to talk, like Professor Hawking, for instance, right? We augment him with a way to talk. You give a chimpanzee the same thing and watch him talk. He'll talk. It might not be a very involved conversation, but he'll be able to do it.
So basically, like, monkeys, to an extent, are kind of like autistic people.
Well, no, okay. I should further this out. The smarter primates are the ones that eat meat. As in, some of the primates in the chain of primates are really not that smart. As in, like, your average monkey is probably a vegetarian, probably not too much going on in his noggin, you know what I mean? I mean, he's kind of smart, but he's kind of a retard. Are you with me? He eats bananas. He doesn't eat meat. His brain is not ever going to reach the stage. It's not going to happen, okay? So our brain runs the predator primate architecture, okay? Chimpanzee's brain runs the same architecture of brain than ours. The only difference between a chimp's brain and yours is that your brain is like 2 derivations larger. You know why it's 2 derivations larger? Because humans are larger in stature than chimps. Like, we're taller. Therefore, our cranial is bigger. Our cranium is bigger, allowing for a bigger brain. Any questions, Dylan?
Right, no question. Oh, look, Ron posted something in the chat. Let me read what Ron's saying. Yeah, without having to audibly hear Marshall's moronic memory of fucking sluts. God is literally a being that's incomprehensible, and so is the afterlife. It's like trying to understand the dimension that we just can't. All your ramblings.
You know what he's saying? You know what he's doing right now, Dylan? Rhetoric. That's what he's doing. This has nothing to do with anything. Like, think about what he's saying right now and how it's, like, has nothing to do with anything. God's incomprehensible. I mean, well, have you tried to test that theory, or are you just saying? There's no such thing as incomprehensible, Dylan. That's kind of a bullshit word. There's really no such thing. Everything is comprehensible to some level. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get a result. There's no such thing as a result. There's really no such thing as a result without input. Like, there's always going to be some sort of input. Well, God would be to say that you're getting a result with no input, which is to say, that would be what incomprehensible would be, is that there's no input, but there's a result. That's what incomprehensible would be, but I can't really think of any examples of that in nature. There's really no such thing as that.
Wow. Christina.
Yeah.
What are you giving your friend advice about?
Basically she's in love with her best friend, but her best friend basically is dating another girl, which is her best friend. And basically,
Yeah, I already don't give a fuck.
okay, I don't.
Okay, but
She really likes him, and like she feels like she's in love with him. And he told her the other day that he likes her more than a friend, and that that he tells her everything, and she tells him everything. They're basically best friends. And she was in a serious relationship, but she liked him when she was dating the other guy. So she broke up with her boyfriend, and she thought that she would be able to go out with him, but 2 days before she broke up with her ex, he got a girlfriend. So I'm trying to talk to her.
Man, that sounds complicated. I think she should just make it simple and just make a decision.
Yeah,
I told her I think
you know what I think your friend should do? She needs to just get a chainsaw, cut him in half. You know, give the other half to the other guy. You know what I mean? Just do that. You know what I mean? You know, if both of you can't have them, just cut them in half. Fuck it.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, that's what I would do. You know, if a girl wanted to be with me and another guy at the same time, be like, simple solution, I'm getting a chainsaw. Yeah, my outlook's flawless. I am an apricot in the rain, appreciatively, opposingly, apprehensively, applyingly, and stupidly, armpits. Ampersand. Oh wait, did you ever listen to KMS's prank call to the FBI, Dylan?
No,
oh my god, you gotta watch. Now you're gonna figure out where we got this whole botnet thing from that me and Shane constantly say, oh my gosh, this is the best. I gotta find this. This is the best video ever. This is like...
are you talking about that?
The FBI is so fucking stupid. You'll find out. Hold on.
Killer that guy, I don't know. Yeah, I know the FBI is.
Oh, you gotta hear this one.
I've called the FBI about that shit that Frost was doing on his website with those underage girls on the shit and everything he was doing. And they literally asked the dumbest questions I've ever fucking heard. Marshall.
Yeah, what up, homie?
So when the FBI came to my house, the guy that I he was cool. We talked for a bit. You know, he's telling me, he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna talk to you about all the shit that's happened, right? With all these people that done all these crimes, right? And at the end of all of it, right, he hears about it. He sees all their usernames, some of their even have addresses to them. And he sees the information, right? And after that, he's like, well, you know, Jen, I don't really know what to tell you. There's nothing I can really do about this. And I'm like, thinking to myself, like, well, why the fuck did you come over here to talk to me then? If you're the FBI, like, aren't you supposed to do something about this? Like, what?
He lives in another country. They're not gonna do shit.
Yeah. I know, but there was even a dude that lived in this country, and they couldn't do shit about him either.
The FBI doesn't give a shit, dude.
Yeah, they don't even care to contact Interpol and get them to contact the authorities of the other countries and talk about that. They don't even care to do that, so they don't really give a shit about anything. But yeah, the FBI wastes time going after people with pirated DVDs. Basically, what they do. That and people on the most wanted list, which they never find. Almost never find people on the most wanted list. They're always out there.
Dylan, what was the question that you were asking me when I was writing the paragraph to my friend?
All right, I'll tell you what he was asking. He was basically saying, okay, let's say you went to an amusement park. Are you with me?
Yeah.
I did not.
All right, now hold on. He said, let's say you're at the amusement park, okay? You have to use the bathroom, okay? But the restroom at the amusement park is all the way at the other side of the amusement park. You really, really got to go. Now, there's the water park right next to you, and you get an idea, okay? The water park, you wait till nobody's looking, and you squat down. I think you tell where I'm going with this. Would you choose to squat down? Would you clench your butt cheeks? Would you call the cops? What'd you do?
I would freaking go all the way across the freaking amusement park.
Well, you know what? I really like hearing stories about you pooping. For some reason, it makes me very horny.
Yeah. Is that all?
Yeah.
I like to jerk off to sluts, pooping on other sluts.
Oh my god.
Two girls, one cup.
Oh my god, don't say that.
Was that Dylan?
Yeah, it's me. Please.
Yeah, hey, Dylan, he's got a fat head.
No, he said 2 girls, 1 cup, and Mick fucking...
Yeah, Jesse McKenzie, it sounds like there's a Tesla coil zapping your butthole in the background.
Daphne, get rid of the fucking background noise.
Sounds like someone is getting... Now it sounds like... I don't even know at this point. Got 1,000 people hacking my Snapchat today.
Mine was the best.
I don't even know if I was talking to you or not, Christina. I can't tell. Some bullshit.
No, you were saying, because I asked you.
Wait, did you just say you're on Instagram?
No.
Snapchat.
Oh, good. Because every girl who uses Instagram is basically like what I was explaining before. Oh, look at me, I'm so valuable. That's how all of them act. Everyone.
Hey, I have Instagram.
No, it's not that
Oh,
everybody
she has
knows.
Instagram. You see, Dylan, I'm going to tell you what's going on. Okay, wait, who has Instagram?
No.
Okay, Autumn. So, Autumn, do you know what the word consolidating means?
I don't.
You don't? Well, let's talk about this. Consolidating, basically, when you give someone a loan, that's not a 1-1 ratio, meaning it's an unfair loan. Okay, with me now. So let's compare what girls on the internet do, or girls rather do, to unfair loans. It's pretty comparable, okay? So women are, a girl could be, have average looks, nothing great, average looks. But she will consolidate. She won't go for a guy with average looks. She will go for the guy with the best looks. Because she can't...
I'm sorry,
I'm not finished. Let me finish, let me finish. Because, okay, are you ready? Now let's assume she goes for the most attractive guy possible. She was almost guaranteed to do, right? Okay, so, she goes with this guy. Now she still consolidates even further than that. She expects this guy to buy her food. She expects him to buy the dinner, okay? Consolidating even more. She expects the guy to do all the work in the bedroom, consolidating even further, okay? So basically the guy is giving all this shit and getting nothing in return. Okay, he's getting no return. It's not a 1-1 trade. It's not fair. Okay, it's bullshit. Now hold on. No, it's not stupid. This is real. Now hold on. Every girl on Instagram does this. They put up all these selfies. They take selfies every 5 minutes because they have no life, right? They take fucking selfies every 5 minutes. And they're like, look at me. I'm so valuable. I'm attractive. Look how valuable I am. Give me a loan. Give me an unfair... Let's make an unfair agreement. Let me entrap you, have kids with you, and ruin your life. Okay? That's what every girl on Instagram is basically doing. Okay, now hold on, right? In Eastern religions, there's something called a hungry ghost. You know what that is, Autumn?
No.
Oh, no, I'm really going somewhere with this. Well, it's stated in Eastern traditions that, if you have a really bad karma, specifically that of caused by narcissism and greed, which is what you're suffering from, narcissism and greed, okay? You become this hideous creature in the afterlife, okay? You can't eat anything because your throat is too small to swallow food, so you're constantly starving to death, okay? We're basically eternity, okay? Now, also, You don't want to eat normal things. You want to eat uncleanly things, such as cadavers or shit. Okay, right? So you know, Autumn. Basically, when I talk to Instagram girls, I tend to picture them as that in my head, some starving to death piece of shit who eats poop. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, but I'm fat. I like to eat. I mean, if that's what you were getting at.
I mean, Autumn does like to take selfies. That is true.
I like selfies too.
Oh yeah, but my most favorite thing in life is food.
My favorite.
I always have food in my hand.
Yeah, I don't know, Chris. I don't know, Autumn, because see, Dylan will tell you we got this friend. Now, Dylan, I got to PM you real quick. Okay, you ready?
You just had
All right, wait for it.
bag.
Okay, I'll look at your PM.
Oh man, I just got all over my bed.
Okay.
See that? That's all you had to see. Now.
Oh.
Okay, okay, Autumn, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dylan and I had this friend who had a near-death experience. She was kind of like you. She was pretty narcissistic. Now, the reason I bring this up is because Dylan and I, she was telling us she was reborn as a hungry ghost for what seemed like about 100 years. Okay, she was only dead for about 5 minutes. Okay, and you know what she told us? She told us that she was hungrier by the second. She was starving to death, but she could not die. Okay, that's going to be you in the afterlife. You will starve to death for eternity. Any questions?
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's actually true. It did meet someone like that.
I completely dozed off. I'm sorry.
It's pretty fucked up. I mean, it's okay if you dozed off.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you that I listened. Would you rather me lie?
I mean, it's okay. A lot of girls are like that. You know, here's the other thing, Marshall. I know a lot of girls.
Now hold on, Dylan. Now, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is, Autumn. Okay.
Okay, wait.
Resources. Resources.
Wait.
Oh, you're gonna take up for yourself for what reason? I mean, if you're not a narcissist, why even respond?
Girls don't pay attention, basically. They just don't.
Oh,
I think she.
when did I not pay attention to you?
Let me ask you something.
Oh, okay.
Would you
Yeah,
rather me sit
I'm listening to you,
here
even though I'm picturing you in my poop eating
what
piece
the
of
fuck
shit.
is he doing? Anyway, would you rather me sit here and say I listened to everything you said, or would you rather be honest and tell you I dozed off and wasn't paying attention? Would you rather me lie?
Okay, well, wait, Autumn. Now, this goes back to my argument. Basically, in your mind, you're too valuable. You're so valuable that anything we say doesn't matter because you're too valuable. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying it don't matter. I'm just.
You're too valuable to listen to me. Your time is too valuable being spent taking selfies on Instagram.
But I don't. But see, my last selfie was too much.
Oh, okay, Autumn. I'm going to reiterate. Okay, I want you to this time actually pay attention. Okay, stop thinking you're so important. You're nobody. Okay, now. Okay, you ready?
Oh fuck ass no! Get the.
Oh,
fuck
you ready?
over
Are
here
you ready?
yourself.
Okay. You know what happens to narcissistic people when they die? Oh, she's gone. Hey, see that? Yeah, she is. Literally a narcissistic, greedy piece of shit, okay? She's literally trying to consolidate and get an unfair deal. Yeah,
Don't talk about my wife like
you
that.
can defend her all you want. You can defend her all you want, Christina, because that's what she is. She probably sits there and takes selfies all fucking day. And that's all she does all fucking day is take selfies, right? And another thing, right?
Shut up.
These girls, they act like they're so fucking valuable. Oh, look at me, I'm so valuable. I have tits and a vagina. I'm so valuable. Oh, look at me.
Oh my god.
You know, you're greedy. You're a greedy person, okay? You're a very greedy person, and in the afterlife, you will be punished.
Oh my god, I'm shit myself.
Oh my god.
Bye, Christina.
No!
Was she saying bye, Christina?
Yeah, cause she joined the other call I'm on.
What call?
The call that it's just me, Sappy, her, and our friend. That's it. But now she's upset because Marshall pissed her off, and now she hates me. She said night with the laughing face with the
I can't honestly say he doesn't have a point. He does have a point to an extent, but I can't say that about all women. And I can't say that they think that completely. But some do. Some do. I don't know if your friend thinks that, but because I don't know her, so I don't know. But there was this girl earlier that we were talking to named Haley, who's definitely like that. Named Cheat Her Away product on Skype. She's definitely like that. So I don't know. Marshall, you there? There's some fucking guys that are like that too.
Oh my god, now she's paying me.
Christina, you literally see what she's doing, right? Now she's giving you that treatment. She's being narcissistic, and she's giving you what's called the treatment, where she's trying to make you feel. She's trying to guilt trip you into feeling bad for what happened in the call, right? What's not even your fault, right? See what she's doing? She's guilt tripping you. Hence another reason why she's probably narcissistic, like you said. But I'm not gonna say anything else. Anyway.
Yeah, Dylan, we really need to start telling these narcissistic girls about this shit, man. This hungry ghost shit. It's hilarious.
No, but she's really upset right now, and
well, that's because she knows I'm right. Why do you think she's so upset? Because she's
and another thing is narcissistic people can't handle any criticism.
Okay, hold on, Christina. Basically, why do you think she's so upset? Okay, because that's what she does. She's a very unfair person. Like what she does. She will seduce more than one guy on Instagram, okay? This is what they all do. This is what all girls on Instagram, pretty much all of them, okay? How do I know this? I've been on the internet for a long time, okay? Instagram women are very shallow. They're very mean. They're not nice people. They're very rude, okay? They never add anything to any conversation, okay? Also, right? What do you think she's doing to these guys on Instagram? You think she's being fair? She's consolidating. Did you not listen to anything I said? She's consolidating, right? I don't know what you think, but basically people should be held accountable for their sins. They should be held accountable. I don't care if their little feelings are hurt. You should be held accountable for your sins. And in the afterlife, you will be held accountable.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know. I'm going to heaven, though.
She's a greedy person. She's expecting, okay, right? She'll go with one guy, right? And then she'll cheat on him when she's with that guy. She'll fuck around on another guy, right? She'll fuck around with another guy, right?
But
not
she's
only
not
that,
not only that,
hold on, not only that, but she's very greedy. And what I mean by that, you know, when women go on a date with you, they always expect the guy to pay for the food, you know? When they go to the bedroom, they expect a guy to do all the work, you know? When it comes to work, they expect the guy to do all the work, you know, and so the guy is giving everything and getting nothing in return. He's getting an unfair deal, okay? So put yourself in the guy's shoes. I mean, think about how shitty that is, okay? So we're doing all this work and we're getting nothing in return. We're getting nothing, okay? So think about that real quick now, okay? And being narcissistic and being so worried about how you look, right? Did you listen to what I said about the hungry ghost, Christina? It's very terrifying.
Yeah.
It's a very terrifying concept, Christina, but in many Eastern traditions, the idea is that if you have a lot of negative karma related to narcissism, in the afterlife, you will be reborn as this hideous creature known as a hungry ghost, okay? You'll be constantly hungry, symbolizing your greed that you felt in the world, okay? And you'll be constantly hungry, always looking for food, but never being able to satisfy that need, okay? And you won't want to eat normal things. You want to eat uncleanly things like feces and cadavers, okay? And, I want you to think about that real quick, okay? I want you to think about that, okay? I want you to really think about that. People should be held accountable for their sins, and they will be held accountable eventually.
Yeah. She wants to be at her back, so I'm at her back.
Dylan, that's how you know I'm a master troll. That hungry ghost thing really got to her. She's probably like scared shitless right now.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Actually, if you guys haven't heard of this, you should look it up right now. It's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? So Christina's friend, her friend, what was her name? Autumn, was on her Snapchat. The first time I sent a picture, a snap of myself, all of a sudden her friend Autumn's like, "Oh, you're ugly as fuck." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Damn, like you're gonna say that to me the first time I send a picture? Like you don't even know me?"
Yeah, that wasn't me.
I know, it was Autumn. Obviously it was Autumn. You know it was her.
Well, I don't know who it was because I had like so many people on my Snap.
Yeah, pretty sure it was Autumn.
And by the way, Christina, justice is more important than peace. Justice is more important than peace. Do not comfort this girl. Do not comfort her, okay? She's an evil person. She's a wicked person. She is suffering of wickedness. She is not pure.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think she's so upset? If what I said wasn't true, then why would she be so upset? If what I said about her being a horrible person was not true, then why would she be so upset? Think about that. Ask yourself that question. And you will know that I am right.
I don't know. Maybe she thought it was you were saying something harmful.
Now, see, that's a very feminine-esque argument. Okay, that's a very weak argument. And what I mean by that is, okay, you've known this girl for a while, right?
Yeah.
How many selfies does she take every day? How many selfies? Give me a number here.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, no, you don't know? Give me your Instagram real quick. I'll give you a rough estimate here, okay, of how many selfies she takes per day. Basically, you know what girls on Instagram do, Christina? You know what they do?
What?
They're all trying to become famous Instagram models, okay? So what they do is they take selfies every 5 minutes, okay? And they cake up with makeup, okay? And also, right, so what that girl does all day, basically, she sits in front of her computer taking selfies of herself and seducing guys into following her, okay? She literally lies to these guys. She lies to them and gets them to follow her by lying to them, by subverting them into her bullshit, okay? What she's doing is very, very wicked. It's not a good thing, okay? It's not a good thing. And she will be held accountable for that. If not now, eventually.
Yeah, but the dark truth to it, though, Marshall, right, is that deep down, she isn't really confident in herself at all. That's why she does all this shit to feel validated. That's why she deep
I mean,
down,
Christina, you gotta admit I have a point. I have a fucking point. Like, she's probably not a very good person.
Well, she is.
Well, maybe to you, but how do you think she is to the guys that she's lying to on Instagram? How do you think they feel? You think they think she's a good person, or they think she's a fucking bitch, and they're right?
Well, she hasn't cheated on anyone. All the guys cheat on her instead.
Well, yeah, see, that you know of. Also, that even makes my argument look further valid. Like, if she's being really greedy with these guys, then her karma must be really bad, and karma comes back to bite you in the ass. So, a lot of these guys are probably cheating on her because she's cheating on them.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she says, so go ahead and continue.
I mean, I'm just saying, what I'm saying makes valid sense. Like, that's what most girls, I'm not saying all girls on Instagram, but what do you think these girls are on it? Like, okay, Dylan, I want you to go to any random girl's profile on Instagram, right? And I want
you could go on mine, but...
I want you to read shit on her profile, look at her pictures, and I want you to observe how shallow and materialistic all those girls are. I want you to gauge. Now Christina is unable to gauge this because Christina is not responsible. Christina does not have a responsible mind, a responsible adult mind. She has a very childish way of looking at things, very naive, okay? Actually, Christina, I kind of like you. Christina, okay? I'm going to put it out there. You're okay. But don't be naive. Don't be naive. Do not believe. Do not buy into people's bullshit. That girl that you think is your friend, okay? She's on Instagram every day lying to guys, bullshitting guys, getting them to follow her, okay? Wasting everyone's time and resources and money, okay? She's putting a drain on the system. That's what she's doing. She's draining.
She said something in the chat.
She's draining the resources. That is what she is doing, okay? Now hold on, Christina. Okay? She's a wicked person. She's evil. She's not a good person. Okay? That's all I'm going to say, and I'm not going to say anything else about it.
She said stuff in the chat.
Yeah, she said, so go ahead and continue to tell me what I am, but in the chat, I ain't coming on call.
Yeah, and notice how she's typing. Notice how she's typing like an ignorant, dude, Dylan, how many text walls am I going to cause tonight? Look, at scroll up. You see Ron's text wall. You scroll down, you see another text wall. Text walls everywhere, bro.
It's not even just them, it's like, you cause, like, everybody to get upset, dude. Like, because they're telling you the truth and they don't like it.
Like, I kind of wish I was high as I left right now on the plane.
Like, Christina, you still there?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, Christina, you don't particularly, feel comfortable or like this exactly because
It's really
she's,
hard
like, a
to
good
hear
friend
you
of yours.
because it sounds like someone's getting, like, a buzz cut.
Oh, hold on. So anyway, what I was saying was is that this might be hard to digest, and you may not like this per se, or particularly like, I don't know, but it's just because she's your friend, okay? You think you've known her for years, right? But he's just trying to tell you the truth, like what he thinks, and it's probably true. There's no doubt, it's probably true. Jesse, get rid of that background noise. Get rid of that fucking background noise.
Oh! R.I.P. headphone users.
Thank you. Good God. Why
No, we
so
can't hear you.
You gotta admit, Dylan, this hungry ghost meme is hilarious. This is hilarious, dude. Like, why didn't I just do this a long time ago?
Oh, hey, Marshall, even before you and Rusty were put back in the call, right? Earlier, Rusty, Marshall, I was literally triggering that cheap throwaway product girl so bad. Her and Nikki, so bad. It was so bad. And after, it was even worse. It was like, she got really triggered. It was so, because that girl was really,
This is what she's gonna do. Now she's gonna text me, and then she's gonna be like, I couldn't if you didn't stay up for me.
Yeah.
You gotta delete this recording. You gotta bleep my shit. Yeah. What? Yeah.
What recording? There's no recording. What are you talking about?
It says that you're still recording.
Yeah, but why would she see it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna delete it. Yeah, she's not gonna see it, but
Okay.
I'm gonna delete it off the group, but I'm gonna keep it stored somewhere else.
You gotta admit, this hungry ghost thing is genius. This is fucking genius. Like, this is so genius to say to.
I just don't need her hearing this shit.
Fucking Instagram horse, dude.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Marshall, is that people will say, "Oh, that doesn't affect me." What you're saying, it doesn't affect me at all. And even if it doesn't actually affect them consciously, even if that's actually true, what they're saying, even though it probably does, right? It affects them on a subconscious level.
Oh no, I guarantee you she's gonna have nightmares about this shit. I guarantee you, I have planted a message in her head, and she's gonna be thinking about this one.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I don't
why
even know
is so
if this
genius.
thing is real or shit.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. It's supposed to be symbolic of, like, if you're greedy in the now, you're going to be reborn and you're going to be punished with something that's kind of ironic. You're just going to be hungry all the time and not be able to eat, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, no, it's symbolic of the future of what can happen if you keep being greedy. What the negative consequences are to it eventually, right?
Basically, sort of. In Christianity or most faiths, a sin is something that you're committing against the will of the higher power. But in the Eastern faith, it's a little bit more interesting than that, Dylan. Basically, your karma.
What the hell is that?
Oh, we can't talk about anything. Okay? Because Dylan wants to not kick anyone. Thank you. Anyway, before I do that, let me post a picture of a hungry ghost to this girl here so she can be even more terrible.
Keep kicking me.
We'll kick you even more, you fucking piece of shit.
No, I'm fine. You can kick me, and I can, I can kick you back. And I can actually reach up and grab your brain, pull it right the fuck through your ass. Then
What
slap
the fuck?
with.
Dude, what do you think about that, Marshall? He said he's gonna slap you with your grain.
I mean, I don't know. Seems like something that could happen in the Matrix.
Well, I don't know if I can grab his whole brain. I think it's just a greasy puddle of butter.
I have to play Fortnite tomorrow.
A little pool of butter.
Where are you at, Jesse? I can't see you.
Well, because I'm pretty sure I turned off my camera.
Yeah. Ow! I just got hurt.
And
Fuck.
there's reasons for that.
Oh man, I wanted to see you ejaculate into your beard.
Well, so many people want to see that. It's just not gonna happen.
What if, like, you went to the volcano so much that somehow, like, the lava was, like, you got just somehow, you evolved to the point where you just could, somehow, I don't know if this isn't possible, but what if this was possible? You get lava into your dick, and then, like, you would start ejaculating lava. And you get lava on your beard.
Why are we talking about that?
And then your beard would just be disintegrated by the lava. Your beard would be gone. Think about that.
We're gonna have to talk with Leslie Nielsen again.
I'm tired.
I'm
But I'm trying to stay up.
Talking to your balls, woman.
She doesn't have balls.
Nah,
I have a vagina.
she's got a large mouth.
She has ovaries. That's close enough to balls, but that's not balls.
I literally have a vagina.
She has ovaries.
And a lot of them.
No, 2 of them. Girls have like 2 of them, don't they? Like, yeah. Yeah.
And a large mouth vagina.
Oh
my god.
I mean, come on. I got my penis is only worthy of a, mid to small mouth vagina.
Oh, why do we need to know about your mountain penis?
Well, because it likes to hang out with trees. And
I wanted to go to the
squirrels.
I wanted to go to the mountains, and I wanted to learn about a mountain penis. I would go to the mountains, and I would talk to a guy with a long beard like yours and say, hey, can you tell me about your mountain penis? But see, I'm not there, am I?
Yeah, most of the mountain penis wearers don't wear beards.
Oh my God, Marshall, you're gonna make her fucking Teresa have a nightmare of bad.
That's the whole point of this. The whole point of this. Maybe she'll think about her actions after this.
She's 20.
Who's thinking about what and why do you care?
She's laughing at you. I don't know.
What? I'm so confused.
Does he think I give a fuck about your shitty ass opinion?
Turns out I'm getting drunk, blasted high, and fucking stoned. Yeah, if I had a hooker and I had to pay her $20, I'd pay her $20 to leave. Yeah, get the fuck out of my house. I got work tomorrow. But I don't hang out with whores. Funny thing, I just don't hang out with them. Sluts go to heaven, whores go to hell. I don't know. Yeah, sluts go to heaven because they enjoy it for what they do. Whores get paid. Fucking, so what am I? Fuck.
I'm gonna watch a YouTube video, but I'm gonna put it on mute so then I can't hear it. But I want to just see what it is.
Fart. Let me introduce.
And that's the other thing. She's a Christian. Like, what, a fake Christian? What's that? Fake Christian? Says
I'm
one.
gonna give.
Or is that a real Christian? That's what all Christians do, right? Say one thing, do another, something like that.
You ever fucking have sex with a Jew?
I don't know. Jewberry pie?
You would be married if you did.
No, Jesse, you make a lot more sense by the minute.
She's saying she's a Christian?
Yeah, she's a Christian, apparently.
Well, watch this, watch this.
No. I don't know. Holy shit, this shit banging.
She's probably just shut the fuck up.
Just warning you guys, I might fall asleep because I'm tired.
Oh, but when you fall asleep, remember my balls are not chewy toys.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put
but
my
yeah,
word.
you don't just chew on them.
No.
You really gotta start doing this more often to people. Just tell them they're gonna get so triggered for some reason. Jesus Christ.
I don't even know why I thought of that, but yeah. I heard you falling asleep. I'm thinking, yeah, that's a lot of balls, and they're delicious. Are you the dictator?
So if I get really silent, y'all just know that I'm sleeping because I'm dead.
Well, if any of you guys would turn on your camera like I got my camera on, then I wouldn't have to have my camera on. Because
Why?
I hear you guys, but I'm seeing. I'm seeing me. I don't know.
Oh my god, I don't even believe in any of this shit. That's why this is so funny.
I am so not your fat dumb ass.
Funny, like now you know what I mean. Now you know what I mean, Dylan. Like people believe in all this shit just because they don't want to go to hell. That's like the main thing. They're like, oh shit, I'm gonna like suffer for eternity. It's literally like the main thing, Dylan.
No, I'm pretty sure you're thinking I'm going to hell.
Well, I don't know, Jesse. I mean, you're probably gonna suffer as a dumbass for all of eternity.
And I take suffering as being. At least I am. I'm not. shit on your own fucking pillow and think about it.
What do you think about this Marcel? We're fucking triggering their lives with Bible.
You know what's fucked up is the Timothy one is just like spot on. Like every girl on the internet, you just post them that they would just like, what? Wait, what? Oh shit! It's like literally like all like you know what's funny, Dylan? Like all these people think that trolling you is like insulting how you look, right? Which doesn't even work. You notice how mad we've made people just by doing this.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Dylan, you're legitimately gonna have to kick Jess. He's not gonna stop.
I know.
You're gonna have to start removing some people, dude. You can't just leave these people in here that just make noises, dude. It's annoying.
Stop picking
Whoa, dude. Me and you gotta fight right now. You, the guy that's telling the other guy what to do.
You mean Marshall?
Well, that's because Dylan.
Yeah,
That's because I am Dylan's inner ego. You see, he lives vicariously.
I don't think so. Well, then I'm his other ego. Ah! Where is it? Where is it? Ah, damn it!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ah!
What the fuck?
Okay, Sean.
So what do you think about Jesse, Christina?
Hmm?
What do you think about Jesse, Christina?
He's nice.
Wait, Dylan, you know who this hungry ghost thing would terrify the most? Probably is Lacey. If we told Lacey this, she'll probably flip the fuck out.
Oh, her mom took away her electronics and shit. I don't think her mom's let her back on Skype. I think her mom saw like, holy shit, my daughter's fucking bored, and took her off Skype. Pretty much it. You know that, right, Marshall? She was like, literally, her mom took away her electronics, and then her mom locked
Well,
me
her mom couldn't have realized that when she had a kid.
Her parents should have realized that when she ran away so many times.
So yeah, see, these people are all the victims of ignorance. You know, they're all the victims of stupidity. Even the parents, victims of stupidity.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's early. Oh, damn.
Did you see that, Christine?
Oh! Man, that chills the balls just properly, you know?
Automated somebody. Just wait for it. They're gonna threaten to beat us up or something. Watch. This is gonna get good, Dylan. This is gonna get good. This person that they add is gonna white knight them or something. Or maybe not. Maybe it was a mistake. I don't know.
No, he's gonna white knight. Trevor's gonna white knight. Trevor, I think, is like literally a white knight that's trying to get one of these girls. I'm telling you right now.
Doesn't have a leaf blower.
So just expect a lot of shit. Like Trevor, I think Trevor likes likes Autumn or likes Christina or somebody. I don't know, but
They would actually hurt somebody if they wanted to play. I don't think I could fight God.
notice how she
God.
notice how she added a male to defend her and not a female. Notice how she added a male.
Talking about me, punk.
No. Marshall, did you see how she just added a male?
The male? with the salami and the bunch of sprouts, the right bread. Wow, what the hell's wrong with you? Eat it. Eat it. Spank it. Kill it. Why do you have to keep typing whatever it says?
So fucking easy. Why didn't I do this a long time ago? Just like troll people with health. Like what the fuck?
Oh,
really
ow, ow, whoa,
you actually
whoa,
believes
whoa.
God. She's probably like low-key sitting there like, oh shit, what a burn in hell, oh fuck. You know that's probably what she's low-key thinking. No. She says she's not what we say she is. Then she like gets some guy. She manipulates some guy into coming here to do her bidding, right? Which is like, you seduced some guy. You got him to join here. Do your that's exactly what I'm telling you. That's bad. That you shouldn't do. She's literally doing what we're saying. Hey, did you see that, Christina? She's literally doing everything we said that she's doing. You get that? It's funny, right? It's funny. Right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just dozing off. It's like almost 5 o'clock in the morning here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. What the fuck? Am I supposed to go to work tomorrow? It's Wednesday, 10:38 p.m. Oh, I have about 6 hours before daylight. That's sweet. How many days before daylight do you have? Or hours before minutes? Are you even... a lot of you might even be in daylight. Fuck, this planet is round.
Oh, she just texted me.
Uh-huh. How do you feel about that?
Well,
Okay, so daylight, it says sunrise will be at 7:03 a.m. So it'll be about 3.5 hours from now, daylight will come.
10:39 p.m. I'm on this side of the planet. You guys are, I believe that most of you are on the other side of the planet. Or on another side of the planet. Not the other. Another side of the planet. Yeah. Oh, God. Being that I'm a god. Are you kidding us? You're on another side of the planet. I'm over here. You're over there. I don't know if any of you understand that. I'm over here, you're over there. We're all here. I had it there for a second, just lost it. It's fine. I'm hanging out with you guys. Oh, shit. Alright. Understanding how people understand you. Who's here?
what do you mean?
I probably do, but I don't understand the language you're talking.
You got some psychosis, Jesse.
What?
Psychosis, man. You like hallucinate or something sometimes. It at least seems to.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Dylan?
Yeah, what's up?
Cut it out. Please don't try to analyze or, and diagnose me.
I mean, I wasn't trying to diagnose you with anything. I was just simply observing that you possibly hallucinate, like at least auditory, in an auditory sense.
Whoa. I'm not even here. You're not even there. But, yeah, shit, what is going on right now?
Might be due to the alcohol, all the alcohol you fucking drink, dude. You gotta cut that shit out, dude.
Fine, I just got confused with a whole bunch of questions.
Well.
Yeah.
Marsh, are you even there?
I think there's people recording. Yeah, I'm definitely good and buzzed. And so, tomorrow, I'm thinking I'm going to be sleeping. Hanging around my property. I could go.
This is like, you know what? We need to really do this more often with just more, not even just girls. We need to do this with guys too. We need to just like be like, bro, you're gonna go to hell, and just be like very serious about it. Just be like, look, we're very worried about your damned soul. We're worried for you. You're gonna, in the afterlife, you're
worried
gonna
about me.
A lot of hardships.
I'm not worried about me. I'm not even worried about you. Why the fuck would I care about you? I don't even think I like you.
I think Jesse.
Apples.
I strongly believe that Jesse might have alcoholic hallucinosis or whatever. You know what that is, Marshall?
Not particularly.
It's a It's a rare complication of chronic alcohol abuse characterized by predominantly auditory hallucinations that occur either during or after a period of heavy alcohol consumption. Termed the condition alcohol hallucinosis and Drifter initiated it from delirium tremens. Usually presents with acoustic.
Wait a minute, Dylan. Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. This guy is perfect to do this with. Jesse.
What?
Jesse. So, you know what the Bible says about putting things before the Lord? You know what it says about that?
Fuck the Bible!
When you put something, as in the material world, before the Lord, it's considered to be one of the deadly sins to basically have lust for something more than the Word of God. Okay. Well, by drinking every night, you are being quite greedy. You're being quite lustful for something. Okay. And for every drink that you have consumed in the afterlife, you'll be forced to drink. You'll be forced by demons to drink sulfuric acid for every drink you have consumed in your life.
Hello, where it is?
It's not going to work on Jesse though, because he's too gone, Dylan. He's too gone.
No, he's too far. But you see, he has fucking alcoholic hallucinosis, dude. It's also called alcoholic psychosis, alcohol dependent syndrome, everything else. Acoustic verbal hallucinations, delusions, and mood disturbances arising clear consciousness sometimes may progress to a chronic form of mimicking. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's Jesse, man. Jesus Christ, this kid. No wonder he's so fucking crazy. Fucking alcohol.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing?
Laying down. How about you?
So, Christina, what do you think about spiders?
I don't like them.
You don't like spiders. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
This time of year is the time of year that spiders are trying to beef up for the winter. They're getting a little bit beefier. They're starting to hatch their eggs. I suspect that there's a spider within 3 feet of you right now somewhere. probably crawling around laying an egg somewhere. This is the time of year that you're most likely to swallow a spider when you sleep, so you might want to stay awake.
Meow.
I don't think it's gonna work for Christina.
You see how good I am, Dylan? You see how good I am? Like, I'm so good at this shit, bro.
I don't think it's gonna work for Christina.
Yeah, probably not, though. Probably not. That would probably work if you got, like, the right person.
You have to get the...
Ow!
Your what, Christina?
I'm really tired. It's about to be 5 a.m. And when I didn't even sleep at all last night, I went to bed at 3.
Are you
Christina,
You know how many people are fake?
Christina, at this time of
You
year.
know how many people are fake?
Okay, anyway, Christina.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't care.
Let's
Shut the fuck
turn
up.
this thing off.
Yeah, can you just please kick Jesse, for the love of fuck? Dylan, you're the worst admin ever. You don't even remove people.
Alright, I'll give him one more chance. He doesn't cut it out. Okay, I'll remove him.
Whatever. Anyway, what I was trying to say though, Christina, actually, this time of year, your chances of a spider accidentally crawling into your mouth when you're sleeping is about 60% more likely to happen because this is breeding season. Or rather hatching season. This is when spiders are abandoning their nest and their eggs are hatching and they're basically dying. They're crawling around aimlessly before they die. And so they're more likely to crawl in your bed. You know, you're sleeping there, you got your mouth open, and they go down your throat. Okay, so you might want to stay awake.
Nah, just go to sleep. If you wake up, it's fine.
I sleep with my mouth closed.
It doesn't matter, you know. Spiders don't care if it's your mom's bed. Spiders, they don't care whose bed it is. They might crawl.
Just slow down and shut the fuck up. God damn.
Yes, my name's Jesse. I'm an old drug addict.
No, I'm not an old drug addict.
I'm an old alcoholic.
I'm not even a drug addict.
I'm an alcoholic drug addict.
Alcoholic.
I'm an alcoholic drug addict on a stick.
Yeah, whatever.
They call me a drug addict stick.
Hey, want to see me right now? Well, do you?
My name's Jesse and I smoke poop.
Well, yeah, this is one way to get high, right?
You would know, you do it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really gone.
Whoa. No, not yet. Not yet.
You're using a leaf blower to blow your
Yeah. See, I'm gonna unbuckle my belt.
What the fuck?
And then, since none of you are willing to give me a blowjob.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Hang on, I need a moment.
Ay.
I don't know. It's fascinatingly chilling and awesome. Sorry about all the noise.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, Dylan, Jesse's dick probably doesn't work. That's what happens when you're an alcoholic. Your dick stops working. Okay, so probably got a dead dick.
Oh, and you would know.
His dick probably doesn't get hard.
And you would know.
Years or some shit, you know. You know, Jesse, I'm gonna pray for you, and I'm gonna pray for your dick.
No, actually, my dick doesn't get hard for you, bitch.
Well, I don't know, Jesse. I don't know, Jesse. You might want to. Christina's curious now. She wants to see.
No.
Yeah, she wants to see.
I don't even want to see. Nobody wants to see. Why are we even talking about that?
Hey, she wants to see the king bee.
What the fuck? No.
Look, she told me. She PM'd me. She's like, Jesse's so cute. I want to see
Nobody
the
does. Why do you?
Ew, no.
Why are you obsessed on that?
He's like
What do you mean? She told
30.
me to see your dingle. She wants you to call her up privately and show her your dingling.
Jesse's like 40 something. He's like 40 something.
Dylan, we gotta start doing shit like, just see how much chaos we can cause just by doing shit like this.
I'm just really tired.
Yes. And you know what? That is one of the best ways to learn is to just get it on.
Hey, I'm trying to sleep. Shut the fuck up.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Can you see me?
No.
That's too bad. I can't see you either. Hear your voice. I can't see these other guys, but I don't even know.
I'll
Man.
turn on my camera later. Just not right now, because I'm tired. And my eyes are really bloodshot.
My glorious body. And figuring out that I am an individual and I am responsible for who I am, where I am, when I am. And it's freaking awesome. I don't know. I hope everybody gets to do this at some time.
Christina's tired.
Look at this shit, Dylan. You see what I mean, Dylan? Now you know what I'm saying about religion just being it's just a way to just troll people. That's all it is. Like, I've proven it just now. Look at that, right? It's how you troll people, Dylan, right there. It's how you do it. In a way, it's kind of a good thing, because maybe she'll think about this and be like, yeah, man, maybe I shouldn't be such a greedy piece of shit. Maybe they're right.
Christina, you wait.
Can you slow down?
No, I can't slow down. Speed up.
Okay, well, Dylan, I tried to respond to you, but Snapchat kicked me out.
Put it down. Pick it up. Put it down.
Snapchat what?
Put it down.
I said I tried to respond to you, but Snapchat kicked me out, so I give up.
That's a yes or no to my
Huh?
Whatever I said, it was a yes or no question.
What is the hottest song?
I said I don't know.
YouTube.
You went to put I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what I'm saying at this time. It's literally 5 a.m.
What is the hottest sound on YouTube right now?
That's the sound of a transsexual having an orgasm.
Oh my god.
Yes, trannies. Big, whopping tranny penises in my soup. Blame.
Yeah, Noxorama, Jocelyn, and fucking, what's her
Oh, by the way, Noxorama got fucking chewed out earlier by me and Mel. You missed it.
What happened?
She got chewed the fuck, because basically, like, she talked shit about me behind my back for no reason. She was talking shit about Mel, saying Mel's like, like doing all this shit, right? So we get her in a call and we're like, look, you know what your legacy is, Nox? It's we're gonna give you a flag. It's gonna have Soren's face on one side. It's gonna have Ron's face on the other side. We want you to wave around the rat flag, you fucking rat.
What was her response?
Yeah. She literally got really because we just basically told her why do we have to tell you not to betray your friends, not to betray people? Okay. I'm pretty sure you learned not to be a backstabbing piece of shit in kindergarten. I'm pretty sure somebody learned you that. Okay. I mean, what makes you think it's okay to go behind your friends' backs and talk shit about them? What makes you think that that is okay? I want you to think about this, and I'm going to go get your juice box and some milk and cookies, and I'll be back.
What the fuck did you just say? I have no idea.
What the fuck are you freaking out for?
What about your Raka though, Marshall? What about your Raka? Like, what was the issue earlier? Like, she was like you were saying that she was like talking shit on you or something as well.
No, because basically when I got kicked from that call or whatever, you know, she's like, yeah, Marshall's like, I don't believe he's this or that, blah, blah, blah. And she's basically, you know, just being a dumbass. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, you think that JoJo's apparently reasonable though? And I told her, I'm like, you know, you need to go to Soren's call and be with the rest of the rats. And we're gonna make a call called Rat Pack and just add all the rats. You know, we're gonna have Ron, Soren, rats.
Yeah, dude. You know what's funny? I was kicked out of Django's call, Soren's call, basically all the rat people calls. That's what I was kicked out of.
I had to clear my Skype because I had 1,000 group chats.
Damn. It's impressive.
In one night.
Yeah.
Damn, a lot of like people like you.
Oh man, is that 1,000 group you got?
Yeah, basically 30 was from Dylan adding me to them, and then
Oh my god.
and then all my gay best friends added me to other ones.
What's your gay best friends?
Well, I have a lot of them.
Oh my god.
Oh, shut up! I might be one of them.
I'm not a gay best friend. I'm a straight person.
She might think you might think you are, but she might think you're not.
No, I'm really heterosexual.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what I think of Christina. Christina's not my best friend. She lied to me about her dad raping her, and I'm not happy.
What?
She told me she filled my ears up with these lies about her dad raping her.
You're trolling.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a nice thing to see. It's not a nice thing to see when you're.
What do you mean it's not a nice thing to see? I would pay.
When your stepdad.
I would pay good money to watch her dad rape her. To be honest with you, I'd pay good money.
Appropriate age.
I just want to see Christina get raped in a tool shed. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. One of your friends, I think he was like.
If you're gonna do raping in a tool shed, do you want the tools to be sharp or dull?
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Okay, so someone named the Chicken Whisperer called me on Skype, and I was on Skype with Savvy and Autumn.
All right, wait. I have a question.
Mhm.
All right, now when you say you were on Skype, does that mean you were on Skype in this dimension, or was it some alternate dimension?
Yeah, fine.
In this dimension.
All right, continue.
So I had whatever, the Chicken Whisperer, or whatever, on my freaking phone, and then I had Autumn
I
and
don't believe you, but continue.
Okay, well, whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? Continue. I just don't believe you, but continue.
Well, I could show you proof.
All right, show the proof.
Okay, well, I would have to go unblock the person.
Okay, you would have to take the block off of them, some Legos, whatever Legos you have on top of them.
Are you guys seeing this?
So back to what I was saying.
Right, you were saying something.
Back to the Chicken Whisperer.
Still private.
Yeah, so about the chicken. I don't even believe there was any chicken. I think you're lying to me.
No, it's the fucking guy. I think his name is Rodney or Rodney. I don't know how to say his name.
Dangerfield.
Look, Christina, I'm gonna have to ask you. You have a pencil nearby? A pencil anywhere?
I don't know. I have my lights off and I'm like with my eyes closed
Look,
right
Christina, this is important. Okay, this is very important. It's a matter of life or deth. Do you have a pencil nearby?
now. I don't have a pencil, but I have a notepad in my phone.
You have to go grab it now, or somebody's gonna die. By the way, Dylan, CPM, you really got to listen to this.
Okay.
So back to what I was saying with the person. The person was I think his name was Rodney, and he was 52, and he's Australian.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of what he does. I'm aware.
And so, Autumn was like, how old is he? And I was like, I think he's 52. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, I was shocked too. And then she was like, well, I'm not going to support you.
Can we get to the part where Rodney raped her, killed her, and stuffed her corpse with chicken fat, please?
No, but the thing is, she was like, I'm not going to support you if you talk to someone who's a pedo. And, she felt very uncomfortable because he kept on asking what a bra size was.
Yeah, but I'm getting to the part where I just don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. I hope he does it again.
Yeah, I'm getting to that part too. I mean, come on. I gotta skip this song.
Yeah, you know what gets me, Dylan? Girls are like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable with somebody saying words to me. Dude, build a fucking bridge. Who cares? Some guy's being creepy on the internet. Well, you know what? I mean, we could take this a step further. I mean, I can be creepy in real life. I can be creepy in real life. If you're uncomfortable now, imagine how uncomfortable you'll be when I'm balls deep in your ass.
He's literally 2 years younger than my mom.
Oh, well. He's gonna rape you.
Weird.
Now you have a rapist to be afraid of, and I hope he kills you.
Why are you roaring?
He's an idiot. Don't watch that video. It's awesome. Wait a minute. Let me give you the video without the timestamp. Hold on. Let me resend that. Hold on. Give me a second. You gotta watch. This is the best, Dylan. You'll see what I mean. This is one of the best prank calls, dude. It's fucking insane. There you go. Watch the second one, because the first one starts at a time, which is stupid. Anyway.
Oh, so I should just skip this?
Yeah, listen to that right now, Dylan. It's awesome.
Are you guys watching what I'm watching?
Well, if I fall asleep, just know that, I fall asleep. Because if I don't respond to
you guys don't need to be watching what I'm watching.
You're probably watching some porn.
No, I'm not. Could be, totally don't want to be right now. But give me about 20 minutes. I might want it.
Well, I don't think I'll be awake in 20 minutes, so.
That's fine. You don't have to see it.
I don't what?
Christina's hot.
I'm what?
You're hot.
I am not hot.
You're pretty.
Oh,
I'm beautiful. I'm just not hot.
Yeah, well, you're beautiful, okay?
Thank you.
There you go. You're welcome. Did you remember? Were you there? Was that you texting me on Snapchat when I said all those things to you?
What are you talking about?
When I texted you earlier on Snapchat. Yeah.
You gotta say, something that relates to it.
Okay, fine. Hold on.
Well, don't send it on Snapchat, because I'm not looking, but, say a word that describes it, and I'll say...
I was saying stuff like anything and everything for you and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
I don't know, Christina. I think Dylan just wants to see your asshole, to be honest.
No, that's not actually true at all, but okay.
Yeah, whatever, Dylan. Why don't you lie some more?
I'm not even lying, dude. I'm not even fucking lying.
Okay, Dylan, you will go to hell for being lustful.
Hell?
And being a liar. You go to hell for being a lustful liar.
Oh my god. So you're saying that it's not possible for somebody to care about someone else?
What the hell is he doing?
I don't know. Do you actually care about Christina? Because she seems like, what's the word? Complacent. I don't know, Dylan.
I don't even know what that word is, but you know what?
Is that what you want, Dylan? To love a basically a robot? Is that what you want?
Oh, complacent?
She's complacent as fuck.
I'm so confused.
Smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements.
If you guys are still here in about 5 minutes, everything else will happen.
Yeah, he's totally gone.
She's basically saying that you're self... I don't know.
What?
He's basically saying you're conceited.
Well,
kind of.
Yeah, she's a liar.
What?
You lie to everybody. You lied at you would lie at your mom's funeral and say that you loved your mom when really you don't.
Wow.
You don't love anybody. The only thing you love, and the only thing you worship, is the manifest.
Like, I'm really tired. Like, honestly, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Like,
yeah, yes, you don't.
I just started to like you, and now you're like
Aurora Borealis. You gotta watch that video, Dylan, right now.
Dylan, I don't even know if what you said was true.
What? It's not. Dylan lies all the time.
What you said earlier.
Hold up, what the fuck? Why would I say something that wasn't true? That's stupid.
Alright, I'll tell you what you did, Dylan.
No.
Okay? I'll tell you what you actually, Christina, something you should know. Dylan talks mad shit about you.
What?
I'm just bored.
Okay, square up. Okay.
Square up. Dylan doesn't need to square up. He can chow down.
Oh my god. I'm tired.
Anyway, Dylan, watch that. Go. It's in PM. Go.
Alright, give me a second. I have to... Alright, so... Alright, I'm looking at the things in PM.
What?
Alright. Nothing, he sent me but something in PM.
Oh. I'm just half asleep here.
Which one's the first part?
Dylan, just watch the second one. The first one starts at like several minutes in or something. You there?
Yeah. Look at the first one.
Yeah, watch the second one. Well, unless you rewinded the first one to the beginning, which I assume you did.
I'm looking at the second one they sent me. So the last.
They're both the same. The only difference is you would have to rewind the first one. Doesn't really matter.
There we go. Right. Christina. Hold on. What I said was true, though. I didn't bullshit you. Goddamn. I'm gonna bullshit you like that.
I don't know, guys say that like all the time, and then...
Yeah, well, newsflash. Women are a much more conniving piece of shit liars than men will ever be.
Well, that's funny, because all the relationships I've been, they all used me, or...
Yeah, I know, but that's not bullshit. I wouldn't tell a lie. I mean, that's how I feel with women. I mean, like, a lot of girls have done that to me, so...
Yeah, Christina tries to make it look like guys are the liars, but really women are like bigger
Well,
liars.
so
And, and women are more thought
like,
out, so that's why.
I did it like last week.
You know, Christina, I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, ready? Alright, or rather a statement, rather. Okay, if Dylan is lying to you, alright, I'll make quick note of this. I'll go to his house, and, I'll go to his bathroom and be like, hey, can I use the bathroom, Dylan? Be like, okay, it's fine. I'm gonna grab his plunger, and then I'm gonna beat him half to death with his own plunger.
What the fuck?
Oh,
What if he doesn't have one?
Well, he's gonna beat me to death with, he's probably gonna stab me to death with a knife. That's what's gonna happen. With a steak knife in the kitchen. I'm gonna tell him where the steak knives are and be like, look, I deserve this. And he's gonna stab him with steak knives right in the fucking heart. There's gonna be a lot of shit that's gonna be coming out before he gets to my heart, because God, I'm fat, but, yeah, it's gonna touch my heart. Get it out, and, yeah.
And then you gotta hide the body.
Yeah.
I've been watching too much Animal Minds.
Yeah.
Dylan, you gotta listen to that whole thing. It's the best. You really gotta listen to it. It's the best, dude. Just trust me on this.
Alright. Stop replicating flame botnet. My God. Fuck. Dan Siebels. Is it saying Dan Siebels, Mark? Do you believe that you can fly? I believe I can touch the sky. Alright.